Test, test. 1, 2, 1, 2. Test, test. You hear us, Chris? We are live. Happy Friday, Deuce and Mo. Yeah, we're in our different studios today. For those who are watching on the YouTube feed, it's gonna be a little bit different today.
A little bit.
A little bit. I mean, we're kind of comfy in this situation. It's not that different for us. May look different for you. So, just a little behind the scenes. Carlin, as I mentioned yesterday on the podcast, or excuse me, the show, has some sort of back issue, and he's got to go to the vet like right after the show today. And so I've taken him to the vet, give him medicine in like an hour to get him all calmed down, not be anxious.
Oh, but then there's more.
Oh, then I got to go to Golden One Center tonight for work. So there's just a lot going on. So we are doing the show from here today, but there's a lot going on in Sacramento, Morgan Reagan.
Oh, what's we got today?
Do you realize tonight the Kings are back home to take on the LA Clippers? And what's wild about everything that's going on with the Clippers, the Kings are 7.5-point favorites tonight against LA on the home floor because no Kawhi Leonard. He's gonna rest. No back-to-backs. And then Paul George says he's got to see how he feels when he wakes up this morning.
Oh my God.
Oh, no. I am so over the Clippers.
Really?
I am so done with the LA Clippers. Do you understand where we're at in the season? They need to win a game. They lost 4 in a row, and they're not going to play their guys tonight against Sacramento?
Okay. I mean, I'm definitely not as frustrated as you.
I just wanted, I think because we had the ultimate high of highs last Friday in LA, when these two teams put up so many points. Well, they combined for over 350 points in a game.
You're not always going to get a special magical game. But yeah, now it's even going to be more so one of those games where you're like, okay, you better take care of business.
It's a big weekend. I mean, you play the Clippers tonight. Then tomorrow night on the home floor, you take on the Minnesota Timberwolves, who play tonight against the Lakers. So both the Kings and the Teals will be on the second night of a back-to-back tomorrow night at Golden One Center. Just a big basketball weekend, and a lot on the line as the Kings try to hang on to that number 3 spot. We got a jam-packed show for you today.
Hell yeah.
Frankie Cartoscelli joining us in the 1 o'clock hour for a little Kings Roundtable.
Ooh, let's go around the table and talk some Kings with Frankie.
And we're really excited to highlight some other basketball in Sacramento. We mentioned this the last couple of days. Stingers up Sac State. Give them some love. Both the women's and men's program are getting ready for the Big Sky tournament. Coming up in actually just a few minutes, we're going to catch up with Mark Campbell, the Sac State women's head coach, who's also the Big Sky Coach of the Year.
I love it. I'm excited. I know we've talked about this all week, but I love that there's so much good basketball going on in this region.
It's just really cool, too. The women's program is absolutely crushing it. Of course, we're going to catch up with the head coach on the men's side from Sac State, David Patrick, in his first year with the program. He's had a really strong year. He's trying to reshape that program. They're getting ready for their Big Sky tournament when they take on Weber State on Monday. So, yeah, a lot to go over today on the show. I love how much hoops we're talking today.
Oh, me too. Well, yeah. I mean, it's kind of our bit, right?
Yes, absolutely. Appreciate you guys hanging out in the YouTube feed, too. We won't neglect you guys. If you're in the YouTube feed, youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140, do us a favor. Hit that thumbs up button. Make sure you're subscribed. All it does is help this page grow. Morgan Reagan, I know you've been dealing with this whole sinus thing. How are you feeling?
you.
Are you feeling better? I know you want me to acknowledge it because
Thank you.
you've been playing hurt the last couple of days.
I'm like Kawhi Leonard, where I was like, oh, can I not do a back-to-back show? No, that's just not how work works, I guess. But yeah, I feel maybe better. I mean, we had to call a Stockton Kings game last night, and we had to call a Stockton Kings game like 2 days ago as well. And that's when it was the worst. So being able to last through the game, and I like when I can actually breathe too.
Yeah.
So that's good. So yeah, I think I'm feeling better. But
You're doing TV tonight. You're doing pre and post for the
oh,
Kings.
TV, I'm gonna sound perfect too.
Of
like
course,
I'm
of
not
course,
even
yeah.
gonna sound sick. I'm gonna take a little like Dayquil cocktail and call it a day. What?
Paul was mentioning maybe blast the fog. I do have the fog machine since
Okay.
we're in the studio. Do you want me to get the fog machine going? Maybe
Paul.
see. Maybe no. You know what we should honestly do?
Reverse it?
No.
Oh.
That's a good idea. Yeah. It gave it to you, so you must reverse it by doing it again. No, I'm thinking that maybe we just do it to test it out to see if that was the problem. You know what I mean? Like just a diagnosis.
You know what I seriously was going to
Yeah.
ask you? So, as most of you know, when we have the fog machine in here for our podcast, it's a small space, let's just say, right? It's not the studio space that you would say that we lie about
Wow.
that it is.
I guess 2,000 square feet is small.
Definitely
You're right.
not
I mean,
2,000, maybe 200, maybe 200 square feet. Either way. So that fog machine, I was going to ask if the Kings win tonight, and I'm like just starting to feel better. Are we still doing the fog machine?
Yeah, just a little. But we're gonna do a little tap with it. It's gonna be like this.
This guy does not give a damn about my
It's gonna go
health.
like this. It's gonna go like this. It's just a little.
Like
Usually I blast it. Like
No,
you're
the-
going. It's Carl the Fog in San Francisco.
the first day, I thought we were gonna die. So
Yeah.
it's good. We're back on track. Hey, I'm getting healthy, but Deuce is trying to kill me again. All right.
I love the chat, by the way. People are suggesting different things. Hey, Brad says eat some spicy food. That will clear it up.
I had a cayenne pepper lemon water drink to try and clear it up.
How about a little Vicks Vapor Rub?
I used to do my mom used to do that when we were
Same
sick.
here.
Yeah, she used to go like rub it and then she'd like shove a towel like down your shirt, really aggressive
Okay.
too. And she'd be like,
That
"All
sounds like-
right, snip it in." And I'm like, "All right, TR, let's slow our roll."
Who could be calling me at this hour?
How dare you have your phone on?
I'm sorry.
That's
just so you know,
true.
we're having some technical issues at the station right now because for some reason we're doing the show. You guys can hear us just fine.
Yeah.
They can hear us. We can't hear them at all. So I have no
Yeah.
idea. I mean, they could be talking to me right now. I have zero idea what's happening.
Well, when I did the show in San Francisco over StreamYard and everything too, I didn't have any problems.
I know.
So,
I know. We'll
I
get
don't
it
know.
ironed
Okay.
out. Here, we know how to talk, so it's all good.
That's good.
Morgan, with the Kings and Clippers tonight, knowing that Kawhi is not playing,
Mhm.
Morris is not playing. Norman Powell, by the way,
What do you
was in
do?
a sling last night
Mm.
as the Warriors hammered the Clippers. Clippers have lost 4 in a row. So Powell's out. Zubats, I don't know if he's going to end up playing tonight either. Do you expect to win, or does this game kind of make you nervous from this standpoint? They just lost to the Warriors last night, 115-91.
Mm-hmm.
And oh, by the way, they remember what happened last Friday. Does that make you nervous, even though there are some things missing?
Okay, so there's a few things I would like to factor in because there's two sides to this story, truly. When you think about the Clippers and losing now 4 straight, Ty Lue was just talking about after last night's game that they need to change things mentally, become tougher, become more physical out there on the floor, whatever. Okay, so you change your mind with that, sure. But then you think about how the Kings have performed against teams without their star players. The Sixers. They lost
Yes.
that game without Joel Embiid and without James Harden. There's someone else that I don't even remember what team it was. But it's like,
They've played a many shorthanded teams this year where it's
And
been a little more
failed.
challenging than we thought. And
Yeah.
even if you want to go back to some so-called lesser teams coming in the Golden One Center, the Wizards, right?
yes.
The Hornets came to town and
God.
won.
So
I think I don't think the Hornets have won a game since then. And that's what's crazy about it. So I get being fearful. I also think that this Kings team has evolved since that.
Sure.
They're better now. I
They
think
are.
they're more prepared. They understand the seriousness of what lies ahead.
They understand how they need to come into a game engaged and ready to go, no matter who's playing or not playing. And I think tonight against the Clippers, they will do that. But the only other thing I'm worried about is if the Clippers come in more inspired and understanding, okay, we need to stop this losing skid.
Yeah, I mean,
Right?
yes. And Westbrook has played well against the Kings, which you have to factor that in.
Dude, he has played well against the Kings.
What they did to him
Ew.
last night.
It
We
was
have
so
to talk
fun.
about that on the show where the Clippers.
Didn't? Oh,
No,
wait, or the
The Wa-
Warriors.
Yeah, the Warriors were just like, we're not going to even have a guy on him. Draymond Green was chilling in the paint saying, shoot it.
It was drastic. Like I've never seen anything like it unless it's like done to a postman. It's a big man, right?
Yeah.
Like you leave him out there and you're like, you're not going to do anything out there. That's what they were doing to Russ last night. Wild.
Gabriella in the chat says the Kings have a bad track record against one, teams missing their best player, and two, teams on the second half of back-to-back. Three, first game at Golden One Center after away games. Yeah, there's going to be good energy in the building. It's a Friday night. I would be really disappointed if they lost tonight. Really disappointed. Take care of business tonight. I think tomorrow night's going to be a big-time challenge against Minnesota. Ant's an animal.
Wait, what if even if Paul George plays,
I don't think-
Zubats is back?
I don't think Paul George is playing.
Okay.
And honestly, yeah, I think you should be able to beat this Clippers team. I mean, they're so banged up. They're on the second half of back-to-back.
I mean, I agree, but
Yeah.
I'm still not like, I would be so disappointed. I mean, how many in a row would that be for the Kings? 5?
Baby.
Yeah,
I want
like,
5 in a row.
come
Let's
on now.
keep this rolling. And if they win tonight, they're up 6 games on the Clippers.
Yeah.
It's wild. All right, we have a jam-packed show, as I mentioned, and coming up, we're going to take a break on the radio side, but back in 60 seconds, we're expected to catch up with Sac State women's head coach Mark Campbell. Let's give the Lady Hornets some love because they've had an amazing year. They're getting ready for the Big Sky Conference Tournament. They've been so fun.
Dude, so
Stingers up.
fun. Stingers way up, baby.
We got to support the local squads, man. We talked to Mark Campbell in about 60 seconds. It's Deuce and Mo. This is Sactown Sports. The reason I said expected is because I assume he would be able to join StreamYard and we'd be able to hear.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
We still can't hear the station right now, just so people.
Weird. What a wild. I mean, we had 3. I was in San Francisco. We had you guys on the station StreamYard, and we had a guest on
Yeah.
via StreamYard.
Yep.
No, we won't have Namaste music, but if you need a Mo's Minute, don't worry. One will come
Okay.
up.
Hold on,
in
Chris
today's
is
show.
texting me right now.
Okay, let's see what
Oh,
Chris.
all right, Mark Campbell's good to go. Hopefully, we should be able to hear him. Chris, you think we'll be able to hear him? By the way, Chris is texting me right now. He said he'll tell you when her break. Okay.
No one's texting me. Things must be great, huh? Oh my gosh, they're there. Okay. Oh man, oh man, oh man. Dude, good for Mark Campbell. I'm just good for these women.
Yeah, it's an exciting time for Sac State, dude. Like, their football team has been awesome the last couple of years. What the women's program's doing, what David Patrick is trying to do with the men's program, it's cool. And I think so many times we get focused on these big picture stuff. Hold on, stand by. We're coming back. Deuce Mason, Morgan, Reagan. It's Deuce and Mo on Sactown Sports. Appreciate you guys hanging out with us. It's a big weekend for the Sacramento Kings. We're going to have it covered. Doing the show from the home studio today because got to take Carlin to the vet today. Got to take Carlin to the vet right after the show, give him some medicine. So hopefully he's okay.
Frenchie's
you know
in the
who
back.
is okay?
Who is
Who's
okay?
More than okay?
Who?
Shout out to the Sac State women's program. we are joined right now by the Big Sky Coach of the Year. Stingers up. The Lady Hornets are balling. They're getting ready for the Big Sky Conference Tournament. We welcome to the show for the first time head coach of the Sac State women's squad, Mark Campbell.
Yeah.
What's up, Mark? How you doing, man?
Good. Thanks for having me, guys.
Dude, I mean, what you guys have done this year is so exciting, man. We're just talking about basketball in Sacramento. Of course, everyone talks about the Kings and how they've turned things around, but Sac State's doing some things too. You guys have been balling this year, 22 wins and counting. Big Sky Conference champs for the first time. I mean, that's a big deal. What has been the story for you guys this year? How have you guys been able to have so much success?
Hey, it's all about the players. Just like the Kings. They got Fox and Sabonis. We got KD and Izzy. So our point guard got named the player of the year in the league. Our center was first team all league, and that duo has been hard. And then they have just a tremendous supporting cast. We're fifth in the country in three-point percentage right now. And we're 13th in the country in field goal percentage. So we got an offense, kind of like the Kings. It's been hard to slow down.
And what's made this group so special then? I mean, obviously it's fun having a high-powered offense, but there's got to be other things that just really bring a group together and make them special.
Yeah, the pieces of the puzzle have to all fit together, and that's from a basketball standpoint that has to happen. But more importantly, it's a culture thing. And we got a group of really unselfish kids. They go out to eat every week together. It's kind of become a tradition that started in the summer, and they've become such a close group. They haven't skipped a week. It's rolling all the way through the fall and into the winter. So they enjoy each other. When you enjoy each other, you go to war for each other. And this group's got that. And then obviously we're blessed with some really good players. And so when you got all that, you're 22-6 and you win a league title.
Yeah, man. And it's super exciting. We talk so much about like culture and team chemistry, and so many people think, oh, you just win and there's team chemistry. I think there's a lot of different things that go into it. You have to have the right personalities, and you have to have players who not only buy in, but are unselfish. Who's led that charge? Is that something you've set up? Is that the type of player your program's looking for?
Yeah, great question. That's kind of the secret sauce, right? That for sports, everybody's trying to find that sauce, and it's hard to measure. And so there's a lot of moving parts, and we added 9 new players. We only had 3 returners from last year's team, and so you're putting this whole new group together, and you work really hard on the recruiting trail to find kids that fit, that are great competitors, but great teammates and hard workers and all that. And that's what everybody's trying to find, but it doesn't always work out. Right. And this group, the senior crop, one of them, Jordan Oliveris, has been here for 4 years. She's been part of a 3-win season. She's been part of a coaching change. She had 1 year where she played college basketball during COVID, which was a mess. And now her senior year, she's part of the best season in program history. And so her wisdom to have that in a 4-year window, and she's an absolute warrior, leader, starts, comes off the bench. Literally, the kid does anything our program needs. And so it starts with her. And then our point guard, KD, who's league MVP. She's our Chris Paul. She leads the country in pick and rolls. She's played 29 games, and she's delivered in 29 games. She's been the number 1 on every team scouting report every game. So far, nobody's slowed the kid down. And so she has that rare ability to bring it every single night, even when on that scouting report, the whole game plan's to slow that kid down. And they have it. And so there's just many layers to it, right? And then the coaching staff, we have our own chemistry and our own group. And all of us came from University of Oregon together. So we've been in the trenches for many years together. And so together, it's worked. It's worked. That secret sauce, whatever it is, we got it right now.
You have the shooting, you have the big, you have, the chemistry with the coaching staff and everything. When did you know that you really had something good this season?
Yeah, man, great question. The chemistry part, you could feel it and figure that out. over the summer training, you're around each other all the time with the workout sessions in the training room and going out to eat together. You saw the team. You can tell when that thing works and when it doesn't. And that was easy to tell. But the basketball piece, it was probably 5 games in. Because our KD, the point guard, she's never played point guard before. This is her 5th year of college basketball. She graduated from Oakland and played shooting guard for 4 years. And from studying the film, we saw she had the vision and the passing ability and all that kind of stuff. But you didn't know until you get thrown into the fire. You don't know if she's going to do it. And our whole system's based on our pick and roll. Last year we led the country in it. This year we lead the country in it. So we were handing the keys to a kid that's never played point guard. And so it took about 5 games and you went, we were right. She's got it. She had what we saw on film. And then now she's growing. And I would say over the last 10 games, our offense, it's been a machine.
That's just an incredible story. The fact that this is her first time playing point guard, and here she is dominating the conference. That's a big time deal. What do you think that's done for her confidence as a player?
Oh, well, one, she's a pro. She's going to get to go and play basketball at an elite level. And then just her confidence, that's been fun to see over the course of the season. I mean, I think her first game, we lost in overtime. I think she had 12 turnovers. And so it was just her so wound up. She didn't yet know how to manage a college basketball game as the lead guard. And so to go from that to where she's at now, she had like 35 and 8. A couple of games ago, she had 25 points, 10 assists, 0 turnovers. And so it's clicked. But to watch the evolution, it didn't happen immediately. But when she had her 12 turnover game, we didn't flinch. Next game, you get 40 minutes. Here's 50 pick and rolls. We're going to figure this thing out. There is no plan B. So you have to figure it out. You're playing A and B. And so, and she has, you guys. It's pretty neat.
Yeah. And that level of confidence goes such a long way. We talk about it all the time with the Kings, where I feel like De'Aaron Fox has come into his own, and he credits a lot the coaching staff and Mike Brown for trusting him, pushing him, holding him accountable. As a coach, like, that is so empowering when there is that belief. You could go the approach, 12 turnovers, we're done. We're going to move on from that. Short leash, we're done. We experimented, we tried, it didn't work out. But that's a big deal. I feel like that builds a true trust between the players and the staff.
Yeah. I call it playing you through your mistakes. And not everyone gets that opportunity, right? You can't let everyone play through their mistakes, or you'd be a hot mess. But there's times when you're invested in your players that you need. There's some kids that they have to deliver for your team to reach its full potential. And whether or not they're ready at the start of the season, at the end of the day, we're playing for 3 games in March. We're going to Boise, and the only way a Big Sky team's going to March Madness, you got to win 3 games. And so as you build your team in the journey of the season, ultimately, what is going to give us the best chance to win 3 games? And so we played her through her mistakes. If you figure it out, it's a monster that is going to get unleashed. And a year ago, our center, Izzy, played at a small JUCO, averaged 8 points a game, 5 rebounds, played 14 minutes a game, raw. Last year, we invested in her. I mean, she fouled out of games. She had turnovers, but we were going to play her through those mistakes because our program is investing in what she's going to become. And this year, we're reaping the rewards of last year, playing her through her mistakes. And so I don't know. It's an inexact science, but it's working.
For Izzy, all first team Big Sky, that's a big deal. The progress, the growth, that's so exciting to see. Mark, good luck, man. I can't wait to see how you guys play Monday afternoon against Idaho. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun challenge, and I hope we're talking about the Hornets in the tournament.
Thanks, you guys. And if you're watching men's hoops right now, there's already crazy buzzer beaters, upsets in conference. It's the best time of the year. It's madness.
Morgan, my co-host here, she played JUCO ball at Sierra College a long time ago.
Hey, come on.
A long time ago. But the women's game, the evolution of the women's game, it's
wonderful.
It's been so fun to watch, man. We love basketball, and it's just great. So we wish you guys the best of luck moving forward.
Hey, thanks for allowing me to come on the show, and hopefully we'll circle back after we make March Madness.
Thanks,
do it.
Coach. Absolutely. Appreciate it, Coach.
See you guys.
There is head coach Mark Campbell. We're going to be catching up with the men's side. David Patrick going to be joining us at 12:30 today, but that's really cool.
So cool.
Yeah.
No, I'm pumped. It makes me, it's like, I know I obviously can't make it out to an afternoon game or anything, but I'm just like, man, I'm going to make the effort to make it out to more college sports as I continue going forward and have more time.
We're late for a break on the radio side. Our bad, but I'm sorry. Mark Campbell dropping wisdom, putting his players over. We got to highlight Sac State Stingers up. All right, we got more coming up. Got to get you ready for Kings and Clippers. It's Deuce and Mo on a Friday. This is Sactown Sports. Okay. All right, Chris. I don't know why there would have been an echo during the interview.
I heard him. I saw him unmuting and muting, and I was like, "Great job, Chris. This is why you deserve millions of dollars."
I don't know why that would be. I'm looking on our end. We don't have anything that would cause an echo. I was, yeah.
No, we've perfected our stuff.
Chris is juggling a lot. Yeah, that was cool. That was really cool.
Yeah. No, he's great. And obviously it's way more fun when you have winning basketball. Chemistry's good, vibes are good and everything. But like you were just kind of saying at the end, when you have a coaching staff or a coach that can really show that to fight through adversity and take it to the next level. And the empowerment goes so far with all athletes.
Yeah.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
We got Chris. We hear you, Chris.
Okay, that's still not good because we're getting an echo.
Okay, hold on. Here,
Wait,
Chris. No, Morgan. Let me look to see if Chris. You say there's an echo. Talk.
Hello.
Test. 1, 2.
Yeah, we're getting an echo from when someone comes on. Yeah, I don't know what it is.
So I'm not seeing, because I'm looking at my levels, and when I talk, there's levels, and then there's.
Yeah, it's just Chris echoing.
I don't know. It's bizarre.
But your voice is so pretty, Chris.
What's up, Stephen Brown? What's up, Mike Barnbaum? I know he was happy. He's a big Sac State person.
Oh, yeah.
Sean says Mark Campbell is a winner. Simply put, as a Sac State alum, I'm thankful to have him. Dude, I love his energy.
Sorry.
Make sure if you're in the chat, hit the thumbs up. We should be at over 100 thumbs up by now. Let's get it going.
People don't like my greasy hair. Don't worry. I should do one of those TikToks that like people do when they go like bump and then they're just all done up.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't know if it would help, but yeah, for sure.
No, I mean, this is greasy as if. Oh my God.
It's so weird, Chris. Echo. Hey, Chris, can you try talking again, please? Don't hear him.
Chris.
He's doing a lot of things. Jim, hey, you guys doing bracketology yet? No. I mean, there is not one person who does a sports radio show in the country who actually knows anything about bracketology. They read Joe Lenardi unless they are diehard college hoops experts. So if you hear anyone, whether it's this station, another station, and they're like, yeah, I really like that 3 whatever matchup.
They're lying to you.
They're lying, okay? They do not like the 215 matchup. That is not, no.
But
they read some things and they are guessing.
If they are transparent and telling you that they are lying to you, then it's kind of fun, right? Then it's like, oh, you're just
great.
All having fun. No, not to say you've lied, but you've definitely have done that before where you're like, oh man, I watched 2 highlights of this team and I'm excited for so
Sure,
and so.
but I don't act like I know what I'm
That's
talking
what I'm
about.
saying. Transparency.
All right, the poll question today, by the way, as we're in the break, how will the Kings do this weekend? 2-0, 1-1, or 0-2? 70% of the people who have voted thus far say 2-0.
Oh, okay. What are you at?
I don't know. Update in 30, says Chris. Tyler says, hell yeah, it's like night chat, but during the day. Yeah,
Sure.
I guess. Fix this a little bit.
Yeah, move us up.
Move this up. But then I gotta zoom in. Okay. Yeah, right. You're right. Day chat. Waiting on Chris's update. I don't know if you guys can hear it. We can't, so.
I'm Chris Verlade with your Sactown Sports headlines. Kings are back in action tonight when they host the LA Clippers. The Clippers are coming off of a 115-91 loss to the Warriors last night, and they'll be without Kawhi Leonard due to load management. For a preview of tonight's Kings-Clippers game, check out Frankie Cartoscelli's preview on SactownSports.com. Kings coverage on Sactown Sports starts with Scott Marsh and the High Flyer with the game night at 5:30 and tip-off schedule for 7 right here on Sactown Sports. And now more of Deuce and Mo.
It's Deuce and Mo on Sactown Sports.
Oh, yes. Deuce, Mason, Morgan, Reagan on a Friday. We are live Monday through Friday from 11 to 2 p.m. Pacific time. Getting ready for a big weekend of Sacramento Kings basketball. Kings, Clippers tonight at Golden One Center. Then tomorrow night, the Minnesota T-Pups come trotting to town after taking on the... Is that what they sound like? Oh, no, man.
What?
Ant-Man's kind of a dog.
You're the one that just called them a teapup.
I know.
Like,
I've never liked the
with
T-Pups.
your bit.
Never liked the
Oh, my
T-Pups. But tonight, task at hand, the LA Clippers. The Kings are favored by 7.5. The last time I checked, Paul George is uncertain, but with that line shifting in favor of the Kings, it sounds like he may not play. Here's what Paul George had to say when he was asked if he's playing against Sacramento.
You mentioned that you were fine physically. Then you're fine physically for tomorrow as well.
Should be. We'll see how, good night's sleep, get some rest tonight, see how it goes leading up into tomorrow.
See what? Just say how I feel in the morning. I played last night, playing 2 games in a row. No.
I wish I could do that and be like, oh, yeah, yesterday's show, it was a long day.
Imagine a press conference after show. So, Morgan, we got a show tomorrow, scheduled 11 to 2. Are you good to go?
I think if I just get some sleep tonight, we'll have to see how I feel because it's like today was a long day. It was a long show and I put a lot of work into it. So, like, if I'm not right, I just, we'll see when I wake up.
We're going to talk some load management today on the show because ESPN's Baxter Holmes did an incredible piece talking about load management, how it's not really a lot of science behind it, but some disturbing details about youth sports when it comes to basketball.
Using the word disturbing, it's so true. It is.
Did I sound like a TV person?
Well,
some disturbing details. We'll do that coming up next.
Sounds
this
very
is the
news-like.
news. Yeah, so Paul George I don't know. Is he not going to play? I don't know. Zubats has been out. Morris has been out. Norman Powell's in a sling. And Kawhi Leonard will not play tonight. The Clippers are cowards, dodging the Sacramento Kings. In all seriousness, they've dropped 4 in a row. They've not won since adding Westbrook and Plum, all those guys to the mix, which isn't great for this group, obviously, as they're trying to stay in the thick of things. Last week we're talking about them, trying to get that number 3 seed. Now it's like, can they avoid dropping to 500 tonight? If they lose, it would be their 5th loss in a row and the Kings' 5th victory in a row. Last night, though, Russell Westbrook.
Oh, my Lordy Lord.
The Warriors decided to do something a little different, Morgan Reagan. They went, you know what? How about we do what the Lakers did when they play the Rockets in the playoffs. We're just not going to defend Russell Westbrook. Westbrook, by the way, last night against the Warriors, 8 points, 6 rebounds, 3 of 12 shooting, 0 for 5 from 3 against the Warriors in last night's loss. And it was interesting listening to Draymond Green after the game because he was asked about how they defended Westbrook.
We got to be ready.
That was not the right one, Morgan. Here's Draymond Green.
We got Russ to miss some shots, but I think when you have a game plan like that, even more so, I know everyone will always judge Russ' jump shot, but what that does to you mentally is tough. And I think, it was more so the mental than his shot. He's been shooting the ball well. I think he's shooting a 3 like at 33 or 34%.
29.
But mentally, that can get tough. And so I thought, we did a good job of sticking with the game plan, and we was able to muddy the game up for them or muck it up on the defensive side, and it ended up working out for us.
Do you mean like sagging off gets in his head?
Well, necessarily get in his head, but it'll make you think for sure. Because you're open every play. And you're taught in basketball, you're open, take the shot. But if you're open every play, you kind of start questioning yourself. And so I thought we did a good job executing.
Cameron in the chat brings up an interesting point.
Yeah.
I mean, Draymond Green can maybe relate to this because some teams have done that to him in the past. How much do you think that impacted Westbrook last night from a mental standpoint?
I mean, it's a sign of disrespect, right? And even if it is a game plan, it's still like, hey, this team doesn't respect you as someone who's going to be a threat out there from that side of the court. And if you're Russell Westbrook, whether it messed with your head or not, it's surprising because you would think that he has the utmost confidence that nothing would ever get in his head. I saw a tweet from Isaiah Thomas, our old Kings Isaiah Thomas, who retweeted the clip of when the Draymond was sagging off of Russ, and he goes, "Come on, Russ, we got to step in and shoot that. That ain't cool. OKC Russ is firing that even if he's 1 for 10. Mindset and confidence is everything." So maybe that's really where he was at last night.
Yeah, and if I'm the Kings, play that defense
You
tonight.
think he's going to adjust?
I have not liked how the Kings defended Westbrook this year.
Well, he
one of
makes
the
a lot of
things that
threes
they've
on them.
done is no, but that's the thing. They've closed out so hard on him from 3.
Yeah.
He's played really well against the Kings this year. He's put up some really nice numbers. Even that game for the Clippers, he put up some nice numbers before fouling out of that game. But yeah, I mean, I would mix that up. I'm not saying you do it all the time, but it clearly worked last night. Maybe tonight is the night he goes, I'm going to start firing it. But tonight, you almost live with it. And this is the challenge too for the Clippers, right? You're playing Westbrook who's a non-shooter with a center, whether it's Plumlee or Zubats, who can't shoot, right? So that's the challenge. Like it's the same thing we talked about with the Lakers when they first got him. Why are you starting Westbrook? Why? Like
It did not make any sense no matter what you want to tell me.
I am playing Russ with small ball lineups.
Yep.
You have guys around the perimeter who could shoot. You guys can launch some threes, let him get in the paint, create, spray out for threes. Instead, you're putting him in a lineup with another big who can't shoot. It makes life a little bit easier. We got to talk more about this game coming up too. I don't know. I'm interested to see how the Kings handle him tonight. We'll talk about that. We got to hit that load management topic. It's Deuce and Mo. This is Sactown Sports.
Just when 39 hit, I was like,
well, we went to break late too.
I know, but like, can a girl just flow?
Hey, guys, can you hear me?
I got you right now. Yeah.
And it's still an echo, right?
Still an echo. Man, so we won't be able to do story time.
Well, we don't hear an echo.
Yeah, but the YouTube stream does.
Yeah.
Okay, so that didn't work.
Chris, keep working harder back there.
So we have done StreamYard before.
Yeah, what if
and never had an echo situation. So I don't know, because I'm not hearing the echo, you're hearing it, and I'm looking and checking all of our like inputs on our side. There's nothing that would show an echo. I can try to change something. What's up, YouTube? So YouTube's getting us.
Hey.
Yeah.
Hey, YouTube.
YouTube's getting us trying to work out the kinks right now. Here, I'm gonna try one thing real fast, Chris. Test 1 2. Can you hear me? Chris, talk again.
I've got you.
Chris.
Is it still echoing? Test 1 2 1 2.
It doesn't sound like it's echoing, and you can hear me.
I got you.
So what happened?
So the way this input is on audio, it was on Rodecaster Pro multi-channel, which I normally have it on.
Yeah.
There's another option to just put it to Pro Stereo, so I just did that, and that might have done the trick. So, test 1 2.
So apologize now, Chris.
Sorry.
we can only hear you right now, by the way. If that's what we're supposed to hear, I'm guessing.
You get a new car, you could really cut
Now we can
expenses
hear
by
you.
bundling your car.
Okay. Good.
Figure it out. Hey, figure it out.
We gotta get to Chris. Are you? I know you've had like a lot going on. Are you prepared for a potential story time here?
I do have some story time stories today.
Okay. Good. YouTube chat, thanks for being with us. Can we get the thumbs up to 100 for Chris, who's been through a lot today? Hey, Chris.
So funny seeing what the dogs
Here we go.
do.
Oh.
It's Deuce and Mo on your local sports leader.
Sactown Sports.
Shout out to Chris Verlaud back at the studios. We're doing it from a studio today, and there have been some technical things, and I had to click something, and I guess I was the reason probably for the echo. There's nothing showing up, but I changed a setting on StreamYard, and it works.
But can I be honest?
Sure you can. You always say that.
Yep, it's a bit. What do you mean?
It's such a good bit.
Why are you rolling your eyes?
Go ahead. Just finish what you're going to say.
Honestly, well, two things now. You have to be nicer whenever I say that. One. Two, it has worked before other streamers, so
It's okay. I mean, we're not going to trial for this. It's okay.
And if
We're
we
not-
were, Chris would be beheaded.
Yeah, of course. What's going on, everybody? Appreciate you guys hanging out with us. Coming up, we will dive deeper into the Kings-Clippers game tonight. The Clippers are embarrassing. I'm so over the Clippers. We'll talk about it, Morgan. We'll talk about it. But because we haven't had the chance to really talk to Chris Verlaud today,
Yeah.
I think we need a special edition of Story Time with Chris Verlaud, baby!
We interrupt this program for an important announcement.
It's that time of the day where Chris Verlaud gives you the stories that you need to hear. Or maybe not. It's story time.
Woo! Chris Verlaud bringing the stories that might make us uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
The stories that make us, I don't know if I like this. Chris, first, before you get to your stories, are you excited for AEW this weekend on Sunday?
This Sunday, I'm excited for Rampage tonight. I'm excited for
Okay.
Revolution
Wait.
Sunday.
Are you going to Rampage tonight?
No, I'm going to watch it, though.
Okay,
but I'm
come
talking about
on.
where you're going to be. You're going to be there Sunday at Chase Center in San Francisco to see Bryan Danielson against that bum MJF.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Excited. I'm pretty excited.
You
I'm
do
trying to think
not
of like,
sound excited.
No.
well, it's not here yet. First off, we're like 3 minutes from like, I was just sprinting around this entire studio trying to get everything straight.
Sprinting. Who cares? We're on the air. Why were you sprinting?
Boo-hoo. No one can see you, so no one's going to feel bad, Chris.
And by the way, the last time I saw Chris sprinting back in the day, this is one of the funniest Chris
It's
Verlaud
true.
stories ever.
What?
Chris Verlaud goes sprinting into the control room and he screams like, Deuce. He thought I kicked him.
It
What
felt like
happened?
someone kicked me in the back of my leg.
He thought I kicked him. He thought, number one, I kicked him.
Achilles?
It was an Achilles.
It wasn't Achilles. It was a calf.
Well, I thought it
Lucked
was...
out on the Achilles.
Okay.
No,
my bad.
Jason started he was starting the rumor mill of that
That's
I
right.
shredded my Achilles, but
Still really funny. He popped his
Yeah.
calf.
Oh my God.
Great
so
stuff.
funny. I love that you got injured.
When you ask, I'll show you my scar from it.
Okay.
There's like
Chris,
a divot out of my calf.
I do wish you were a little more excited about Sunday.
I will be when we get there.
I might be. Well, would you be more excited if I ended up getting a credential and going with you?
I'd be very excited. I'd be even more excited.
Okay. All right.
Aw,
Fair
okay.
enough. All right. Let's get to story time with Christopher Ladd. What do you have today?
All right. I got a couple downers. Let's see where we want to go with you. Okay. East Palestine, Ohio. Yahoo News.
Oh, no.
As we all know, February 3rd, Norfolk Southern train derailed in East Palestine, causing a chemical catastrophe. As soon as that happened, Norfolk Southern ordered 40 maintenance employees to the crash site. So that's cool. Cleaned it up. But according to the American Rail System Federation, the company did not provide employees with appropriate safety equipment to work safely around vinyl chloride. Employees have reported experiences of migraines and nausea days after the derailment, and they're still facing this today.
That's the story.
That is
That is so dark and depressing, and it's like there's like bigger things that factor into all of this happening in the first place. Chris, you're next. I don't even want to discuss this story. Next story.
Just need people to know that this is something that's happening right now.
No, that's fair. He's making people aware. I mean,
Thank you.
Sometimes he's informing. Sometimes there's real important stories. Sometimes there's weird stories. It's a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
And let's go to the lighter side of stuff.
Okay.
Las Vegas, Nevada, KTLA 5. You guys have been to Vegas. So what is the weirdest thing that you've come around in your stays in Vegas?
I would just say different people, like at night.
Wow.
What?
It's wild, Morgan.
Well, no, I'm not. It's not like I'm like The Hangover where, oh yeah, I woke up in a room with Mike Tyson and a tiger. No.
Weirdest thing I've seen in Vegas. We usually go during summer league, so it's just seeing a ton of random NBA players walking around a casino, but that's not very weird.
Okay, so the Sanders couple, they were staying at the Excalibur Hotel and Casino for a veterinarian conference. Remember that veterinarian conference?
Okay, I'm gonna remember that, and how Jason Ross, before he wanted to be a broadcaster, was actually trying to become a vet.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
On the third night at about 4 a.m. in the hotel, they heard a strange noise. And when they turned on the light, what did they find?
A duck?
Good guess.
Thank you.
They found a cat.
Okay.
They called down security and told them that there has been a cat that has apparently been living in their room not only the 3 days that they've been staying there, but for more than a week, because the person staying before lost their cat while they were staying at the Excalibur Hotel. And that's where it has been the entire time. So
Better than a tiger, but go on.
So Lindsay Sanders said, we noticed something strange, like her toiletries are on the ground, which she blamed on her husband. There was pee in the shower for some reason, which she
Blamed
also
on her
blamed
husband.
on her husband.
Yeah.
And it turns out it was the cat the entire time. So these people lived with the cat for 3 days with no knowledge.
Okay, one, super weird. What were they doing not being able to be aware? But two, how lucky is that cat?
Okay, why?
You get stuck. If you're going to get lost, be lost in one hotel room, and the people who are in the room are vets.
Well,
could it get any better than that? Like, oh, we found a cat. We're vets. There could have been, the people who go to Vegas.
They could have been with drug addicts.
Yes.
Yep. No, that's actually
and like the
great
Excalibur Hotel isn't the most high end.
No, it's not like
properties
where,
on the
I
strip.
stay at the Wynn, something like that. It's in a posh suite.
Do you?
No,
not the
I stay at the
Badara.
Wynn. I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, what is that?
So, that's where all the cool people stay. So, according to Lindsay Sanders, the cat appeared to be in good health even after not eating for 6 days.
Oh
She also said that she believes the cat had been drinking water from the toilet, a habit that the feline's owner said it had at home.
Wow.
That's
So it
good.
got reunited with the owner.
Yeah. The owner moved from Reno to Vegas with the cat. That's why they were staying at the hotel. And it's like the cat's lost. So they were able to get in touch with her.
Here's the thing. Where was the cat in the room? Because I don't know. Like, if I had my cat or a pet in my hotel room and I get to a point where I can't find it, I'm not going, oh, time to check out. I'm going, hey, hotel staff, I need some help. My cat was in here. I don't know.
Floor 3. Yeah. Like, let's check all the rooms.
Can we get surveillance? You only have 8,000 cameras in this hotel. Did the cat like get out, walk through the casino floor? What's it doing?
Yeah, I don't think
you just go, I'm going to leave.
I don't think this cat owner is the best of cat owners.
Yeah, no, that's
probably
fair.
not.
You're
Probably
right.
Because so this is where it was hiding. There was like a 3-inch clearance behind the sink to where when they found the cat and security came up, the cat freaked out and went behind the sink again, to where maintenance had to come up and remove the sink in order to get the cat from behind the sink.
What?
That is hilarious.
Go under the bed, man. Go under the bed.
And Chris, before you move on, Rory in the chat brought this up, and we were supposed to talk about this the other day. He asked, did you guys see the parrots that flew into a college softball game and landed on the ump?
Yes.
I did, and I needed more detail on it, and I couldn't find it at the time. This ump was just like, yeah, come on, land on my shoulder.
Yeah.
If a parrot is flying toward me, I'm out.
Why? It's a parrot.
They're supposed to land on your shoulder.
Yeah, it's not a wild animal. They talk, dude.
It's not a wild animal.
Not a parrot. They're domesticated most. If it's
Famously,
like that.
famous domesticated bird, the parrot.
Okay, time out. You're telling me, Morgan, if you're outside at the park and all of a sudden you just see, look at this parrot, and it's coming toward you, you're just gonna be like, oh, come here.
100% I'd be like this.
Give it a cracker.
Yeah.
Get the hell out. There's zero chance.
I would do it for like a parakeet. I would do it for a cockatiel. But like a hawk, no.
Can I be honest? Parrots come to me, boom, punching it.
False.
In the air.
You're such a little wimp.
What do you think I do?
You run and hide.
Yeah.
You run and hide like that cat.
I've been to McKinley Park before in the summertime, and sometimes there are bats. Dude, and those bats come around. I'm ducking. I get chills thinking about it. I don't do well with those things. Anything with wings, I'm out.
What's crazy is like I think bats are like kind of cool and stuff like that, but once they start flying around and you can hear like the leathery wings, it's like, ugh.
Dude, I did a Good Day Sacramento thing at a bat sanctuary.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, cool. And she was trying to get me to go inside the cage and be with the bats. I'm like, I'm good.
You said no, right? And wasn't she mad?
They were offended. As if like,
because
but I wasn't. Here's the thing. I understand. I understand that they're trying to make it sure people know like bats aren't evil, blah, blah, blah. I was putting the bats over. The bats, I made it sound like it was a furry little kitten. Come on. But I just didn't want to go in there.
Did you guys not go to outdoor ed school and learn about bats?
Here we go. Morgan's
and
stupid
sing the song.
Bats eat
bats eat bugs. They don't eat people. Bats eat bugs. They don't fly in your hair. Bats eat bugs. They don't eat people. And that's why they're flying up there.
Okay. Then why do they fly down at my head when I'm walking through McKinley Park?
Why do I have to get 8 rabies shots when
yes
they happen to bite me?
You guys, I hate how you act like you're like Dr. Doolittle over here. Just all the animals I'm cool with.
A parrot, definitely. A bat, I would run, but I wouldn't like punch a bat. No, that's weird.
Don't trust parrot.
Chris, do you have time for your last story?
And also parrots. Here's the thing with parrots. You're going to trust an animal who can talk. Who can literally like, hello. Hey, Deuce.
Oh, okay. Do you want a dark story to end on? Because I have a dark parrot story.
Yes, now we do. Yes.
So, famous wrestler. Who's a famous wrestler with a parrot, Deuce?
Do you know?
Coco Beware.
Coco Beware. And this is a very sad story, and it's very dark. But everyone should know it. So he was at church with his family, and they came home, and the fire department was there, and they said, and they're like, he's like, oh my God, my house and stuff like that. And they're saying like, we're so sorry, sir. We couldn't get the person in the house. And he's like, there's no one in the house. And they said, we heard someone saying, get me the hell out of here. And it was Frankie, Coco Beware's bird. And that's how we end story time.
That is devastating.
I cannot.
That makes me sick.
I cannot believe a parrot said, "Get the hell out of here." There's no way that happened, right?
Get me the hell out of
There's
here.
Get me
no
the
way.
hell out of here.
What'd I say?
Get the hell out of here.
Oh, sorry. Get me the hell out of here.
Get me the hell
You
out
think a
of here.
parrot said that?
Yes. If the fire department is saying that, yes.
They know how. A parrot knows how to say, "Get me."
Do you understand how smart some of these birds are?
I'm gonna say something that the bird people are gonna be mad at. If a bird is saying "Get the hell out of here," maybe it needed to go.
Get me the hell out
No,
of here.
what is wrong
Get me
with
the
you?
hell.
Yeah, no, and every bird person should be mad at you. You're disgusting.
I'm out on that. Any bird that's going, "Get me the hell out of here."
My
I'm out.
sister's bird can sing the Addams
That's
Family
cool.
song and
Oh,
Austin Powers.
Oh, that's a cool thing. They
How
whistle.
is that cool?
I can't whistle or snap. Okay.
See, you're like the opposite end of a bird. This is why you don't like birds.
All right.
Become one with the bird, bro.
We need to take a break.
Oh my! Thanks, Chris.
I love stories. I needed that today. Coming up next, I am irritated with the Clippers. Kings and Clippers tonight. But is it really the Clippers? We discuss it. Coming up next, it's Deuce and Mo on Sactown Sports.
The bird story that
It's sad. It definitely is sad.
I've thought about that for the dogs ever, and I would do anything for my dog. I would do anything.
Dude, he loved that bird, man. Here, let's see if I can show it on the screen. Let's just see if it works.
Hey.
Oh, that's so cool. This works.
Look at that. Look at Coco, man. When I was a kid, I loved Coco Beware.
Loved Coco Beware.
Dude, how could you not?
Did the bird came out to the ring and everything?
Yeah.
What?
That actually, they won tag team champions. They were tag team champs together. No, Frankie Frankie. Chris, what was the move that Frankie did? His finisher?
I'm trying to remember what it was.
Wait, so this is the bird that burned?
Yes.
No, there's no way. I mean, birds do live a long time, though.
You don't remember the finisher, Chris?
That is the same color bird that flew on the
I'm trying
shoulder.
to. It was like a high flying move. It wasn't the flying. It was just called the flying. It wasn't like the.
Yeah, it would. So Coco Morgan
Yeah.
would throw his opponent against.
It'd be the
leg.
flying peck. That's what it
The
was.
flying peck right to the head. Boom. Like right to the forehead.
The bird would
The
do
bird
it?
would do it to his opponent. Boom. Out. 1, 2, 3 tag team champs.
No.
Yes.
Why?
And you know what's cool? No, there was Chris. You remember the little title belt they gave Frankie? It was like
Yeah, that he
little
had in his
miniature-
mouth.
Yeah.
You guys, this is the greatest bit. Why are they in the Hall of Fame?
Yes.
Yeah.
They
That
are?
was,
Okay.
I showed you the Hall of Fame thing.
Oh.
Yeah, look, this is when they got the Hall of Fame together.
Oh my God.
And then it was funny. They met with Vince McMahon after, and Coco Beware, Frankie's like, "Get me the hell out of here."
Yeah, that's when he first started the whole get me the hell. What is he doing?
Okay, I'm so glad Carlin's kind of back to normal today, it seems like, because he's all on medicine. He's just chewing on a stick.
Okay. No. Can't eat a stick.
Here, you guys want to say hi to Car?
Be careful with his back.
Oh, look at this.
Are you okay?
Look at this little nuggets.
Thank you, Carlin. Oh, he looks. This is the most like alive I've seen him. You look so alive. You look so alive. It's probably the drugs.
He's on a lot of drugs right now.
Oh.
Morgan, just so you know,
Yeah.
the whole Frankie tag team champ thing was a joke.
Oh.
Yeah. But he did come out to the ring with him. What?
You guys did a really good job. Like, do you understand why that's believable, right?
Yeah.
Because wrestling is awesome, and they should have a tag team champion be paired.
With the parrot, yeah.
Chris, how much time do we have?
A minute.
Okay, we're back. We got Tinkle. Tinkle time, huh?
Tinkling all the way to the bathroom.
Looking out
Thank you.
on the tinkle time.
Get it, girl.
I used to have to pee. 'Cause you make me pee.
Yeah.
'Cause you make me pee. 'Cause you make me pee like a natural. Hey, Deuce.
What word was I going to put there? Like a natural tinkler? Is that weird, Chris?
No.
Let me get some of what Carlin's on.
It's on.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Christopher Ladd with your Sactown Sports headlines. Kings are back in action tonight when they host the LA Clippers. The Clippers are coming off of a 115-91 loss to the Warriors, and they will be without Kawhi Leonard due to load management. For a preview on tonight's Kings-Clippers game, check out Frankie Cartoscelli's preview on SactownSports.com. Kings coverage on Sactown Sports starts with Scott Marsh and the high flyer Henry Turner with game night at 5:30 and tip-off scheduled for 7 right here on Sactown Sports. It is 12 o'clock. Time to check out Coastside Medical Clinic, who's dedicated to providing breakthrough remedies for men. Now more of Deuce and Mo.
Live and local.
It's Deuce and Mo.
Watch the show now on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140 or listen for free on the Sactown Sports app.
Everybody knows winning is fun, but I do think we come in here, and obviously the type of coach Mike is, we come in here, we're intense for however long we need to be, whether if it's 20 minutes or if it's 50 minutes. We get the work in that we need to get done, but we also come in here, we have a good time, we like to have fun. Obviously guys compete. I mean, there's nothing like it. There's nothing like winning, competing, and then having fun while you're doing it. And I think everybody here enjoys being around each other, and that makes it even more better.
Oh, that's De'Aaron Fox talking about competing. The Kings will be competing tonight against the LA Clippers back on the home floor in a rematch of last Friday night's classic in SoCal when the Kings won in double overtime 176-175. I'm Deuce Mason. That's Morgan Reagan. We're on until 2 p.m. and coming up at 12:30. We talked to Sac State men's head coach David Patrick. Stingers up. We talked to the women's coach Mark Campbell last hour. You could check that out at SactownSports.com. It was a great conversation. Definitely worth a listen. Also go to SactownSports.com to read Frankie Cartoscelli's latest piece on the Kings taking on the Clippers tonight. Frankie joins us at 1 p.m. for Kings Roundtable.
Yeah!
Morgan Reagan. I'm just over the Clippers.
I know. I can tell.
So over this team.
Can I tell you what I think part of it is?
Yes.
I think it's the narrative around the Clippers since the beginning of the season. I don't even think it has anything to do with the Kings not getting enough love in the Western Conference, whatever. I think it's truly what people said about the Clippers before the season, and then after the trade deadline, the championship trophy passed to them before they have even won anything.
I mean,
right?
I'm sure that could play a role in this all. I think my issue with it is we've been, to your first point, hearing about this team for so long.
Okay.
Hey, championship team, man. If healthy, championship team. What I don't like is just from a competitive standpoint, you have lost 4 in a row. Mm-hmm. They have their first set of back-to-back. The Clippers have a back-to-back for the first time since late January. Last time they had a back-to-back, Kawhi did not play.
Yep.
Paul George did not play. And here we are tonight, and Kawhi Leonard is not playing. And Paul George let us know that, we'll see how he feels.
You mentioned that you were fine physically. Then you're fine physically for tomorrow as well.
Should be. We'll see how, good night's sleep, get some rest tonight, see how it goes leading up into tomorrow.
You see how it goes. Morgan, they have lost 4 in a row.
Yeah.
And it's not like, 4 in a row, they'll figure it out. Right now, as it stands today, the Clippers would be a play-in team. They are in the 7th spot right now.
What?
Think about last week when they were pushing the Kings. They could have inched closer to Sacramento. The West is so close right now that they have dropped to 33 and 32. They are in the play-in. And, by the way, Minnesota, if they win tonight in LA and the Clippers lose, Minnesota moves to 7th and the Clippers drop to 8th. This stuff can change fast. We know that bottom of the West is ever evolving. But the point being is they're trending in the wrong direction. And this whole point that they were going to push up and maybe get home court advantage, could they move up to number 3 or number 2? Sacramento, all of a sudden, headed into tonight's game, has a significant lead on the Clippers. They have a 5-game lead on the Clippers. They win tonight. That goes to 6. And then if you want to dive deeper, the Kings have 25 losses. The Clippers have 32 losses. So the Kings are in a great position to bury this team tonight. With all that said, I don't know why, and I'm not necessarily blaming Kawhi. Maybe it's the Clippers medical staff. We hear this a lot with load management, that sometimes it's out of the player's hands. Why is Kawhi not playing tonight?
Why?
Why is Paul George maybe not playing tonight? Like, this game matters for them. What are we doing?
Thank you.
Where's the competitiveness? Like, this team just beat me in double overtime on my floor. We've dropped 4 in a row. We got embarrassed last night. We're going to Sacramento and winning tonight.
And
like, why is that not the mindset?
There's no reason to rest your guys for the postseason if you're not going to even have a postseason, right? Like, wouldn't you rather secure a postseason spot if you're one of these teams that are like fringe, play-in, or playoff? Why wouldn't you do everything you could do in your power to make sure that you could be in that position? And I know, like, you look at a team like the Blazers, when Dame and Jeremy Grant sat out against the Sacramento Kings, their flight, all weird, whatever, all that happened. But it's the same, to me, it's the same mentality. Like, you're trying to make that push then for the play-in for the Trailblazers, then why aren't you doing everything in your power? I don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
And you look at the standings right now, it's like you've got to start winning. I mean, this is a fragile state. Like, we mentioned how close they are from being back in, right? That whole, from 4 to really 11 to 12 is pretty tight right now, right? It seems like OKC is ready to bail. They've lost 5 in a row. SGA's out. They just lost Kenrich Williams for the season. It looks like they're bailing out. Portland's trying to get in. The Lakers, they're probably going to trend down, especially if LeBron's missing 3 weeks. The Pelicans are kind of weird right now, even though they finally ended their losing skid. Jazz are up and down. I still think the Clippers can get in, but I just think there's an opportunity here. And when you've lost 4 in a row and you're trying to build chemistry late in the season, well, get out there and play a game. And it's disappointing. And it's a bigger issue with the league right now with load management.
There we go. That term once again.
And I was listening to Paul George the other day. He was on JJ Redick's podcast. We love JJ's podcast. And Paul George was asked about injuries and load management. And here's what Paul George had to say about it.
You know, when I came in the league, and I went to a blue collar team that worked extremely hard. That was like the norm, like practicing hard. You know, the 2-a-days on training camp, like that was just like, that was the norm to me. And I enjoyed it and I loved it because it helped prepare me mentally. It helped prepare me physically. Like it prepared my body for what was to come in a long season. And I think now they're like, teams don't really practice, you know, we're not getting up and down. You know, there's just, it's a lost art when it comes to that hard practicing. And I think that's why there's so many injuries that's going on, because guys that have a high load day and then a completely off day and then a high load day. You know, back then it was you practice hard, you got a game. You practice hard, you got a game. Then you might have a day off. Then you come right back to it. So I feel like your body just built the callus and that you were prepared for a long and rough season, to where injuries, like, you know, there wasn't that many injuries. There wasn't time to take a load off because you felt good to play. You know what I mean? And I think now it's just it's tough. It's tough because it's almost the reverse. They think by giving us time off, it's helped managing our bodies. But in honesty, I think it's just making us weaker as players without putting that load and strain to our bodies.
That's fascinating. That's a guy who may not play tonight. And I think that's one misconception around the league, is that it's players going, I need a rest day today. I mean, a lot of times it's these staffs that are saying, no, we need to rest you. What do you make of what he had to say about the calluses that are being built up through practice? And
I 100% agree with that. And I think there's a few things to this, right? Because as even science evolves over the years and you learn what was wrong, what was right, it's always going to be changing. And I think as we learn more and more about bodies and even concussions and how the brain works and all these things, we make adjustments. But then when you learn maybe that something that you thought was going to be helpful isn't as helpful as you thought it was going to be, you make that adjustment again. Load management, guys resting their bodies, what Paul George was even saying about practices. You don't hear that with Mike Brown and his crew.
Well,
and I love that. And look where they're at. And Deuce, just someone who, again, didn't play pro sports. I played pro-am ball in San Francisco with some high-level women basketball players, play some JUCO ball. I'll never forget the coaches that I had that were like, as we like to call them, insane or psychotic, were the ones that pushed us to the limit of throwing up a practice and having a game the next day and then becoming runner-ups as state champions. You know, like there's things that you accomplish and you achieve by pushing your body through their limits.
Yeah, and you have to get used to playing heavy minutes too, right? In the playoffs, your best players should be able to play, 39, 40 minutes a game. And I think when you start looking at it from a Kings perspective, and I know, Morgan, you're big into jinxes, so knock on wood, the Kings are known for being a team who practices a lot. They have a lot of practice time. And when you look at the availability from the starters, Tim Maxwell put this out. De'Aaron Fox has played in 55 of 61 games, 90% of the games. Herter's played in 95% of the games. Keegan Murray's played 93% of the games. Harrison Barnes has not missed a game this year, and Domantas Sabonis has missed 2 games this entire year. I do wonder if the Kings are maybe better prepared than other teams, where you start looking in the fourth quarter, and this is where I don't know, am I overthinking this a little bit? The Kings' fourth quarter numbers from an offensive rating and a defensive rating dramatically go up in the fourth quarter of games. Are they better conditioned? Are they better adjusted? Are they better prepared? Because Mike Brown is making them practice.
Yes.
That they are going hard. A lot of these teams during the season don't get a lot of practice time. And if they do, they're kind of going through stuff, light workouts or whatever. I think there's something to be said that, wow, one of the healthiest team, if not the healthiest team in the NBA this year from a games played perspective, is the Sacramento Kings, a team that plays a up-tempo style, scores a lot of points, and they practice a lot.
By getting beaten up like Sabonis does in the face, he's only getting more and more used to getting hit in the face and being able to take it more and more. I don't know if that's necessarily the real case with getting hit in the face, but truly when you do get hit in the arm 7 times and there's going to be a time where you don't feel it as much as someone keps going, right?
Can I try it?
And I'm not saying that's what you should put your body through, that's what you should put your I don't know, your team through. You got to be smart about things, but at the same time, you got to build those calluses like Paul George was saying.
Well, NBA Young Kobe in the chat says, I think Mike Brown has created a stamina advantage for the Kings.
Yeah.
That's an interesting perspective, NBA Young Kobe. We're going to talk more about that in 1 minute on the radio side. We're going to take a break. There's some crazy numbers with youth injuries, too, that could explain some of this. It's Deuce and Mo. This is Sactown Sports. We're back.
Bye.
Hi, boss.
Oh, dude, appreciate some great Twitter.
Espresso shot for Deuce. Espresso shot for Deuce. Oh, thank you so much.
That's where you went. You're back so quick.
Yeah,
We're so glad.
My guy Bart helped me out.
Who's Bart?
Bart Easta.
Bart Easta.
Yeah.
Wow.
You like that, Chris?
Do.
Thank you.
Do you happen to email John?
I did.
What do you say?
He has not responded today.
Oh, okay. I also have not received information how I'm supposed to pick up my credentials. so I'm getting a little scared.
That's why you weren't excited.
How's the chat doing? Sorry, I was reading an email. Young Kobe says we need like a daily 2-minute Coach Nick segment. I'm with you, man.
I'm down for that. This is a 1 minute break. I need Advil on the next break. Brr.
Not KJJK brings up an interesting point too. He says Kawhi and Paul George are in their mid-30s. They've had a catastrophic injury history, right? Load management makes sense in their cases. I don't know if hard practices would get them right. I also know nothing. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a case by case. Stand by.
It's Deuce and Mo.
Deuce and Mo on Sactown Sports.
I'm begging you to hang out with us.
Begging you.
It's Deuce Mason. It's Morgan Reagan. This is Sactown Sports. Coming up in just a few minutes, we're going to catch up with Sac State's men basketball head coach. David Patrick's going to join us. They're getting ready for the Big Sky Conference tournament. We caught up with Mark Campbell last hour. Morgan, just before the break, we were talking about the Clippers and, Kawhi's not playing. Sounds like it gets kind of that injury maintenance designation. Paul George, we don't know if he's going to play, but I'm just like, what? At some point, can we stop doing load management on back-to-backs? And maybe the Clippers' perspective is it's simple. Hey, we're not playing back-to-backs in the playoffs, like I said to you the other day.
Yeah.
Like, why do we need to do that? At the same point,
like you're trying to win?
You're trying to win, and don't you want to test that a little bit? And maybe their data is saying something differently. It's been very fascinating. And the other thing, ESPN did a piece. Baxter Holmes over at ESPN was talking about how there's some data now that's showing that young people who play basketball are suffering really significant injuries at a young age. And Baxter's point is that he said yesterday, the current load management debate is simply not rooted in science or medicine. A major factor, many players now enter the NBA with badly broken bodies. He said he reported on this massive crisis over a 2-year period. In that piece, he talked to someone who does surgeries who estimated that he alone would see 1,500 pediatric sports injuries and perform maybe 150 surgeries, ACL, cartilage, shoulder injuries in a single year. But those numbers have skyrocketed. Last year stood at 6,000 sports injuries in 400 surgeries involving ACL or shoulder. More than half of his operations are now on those under the age of 14 years old. Yes.
Okay.
He talked about performing surgery recently on a kid who was 8 years old.
No.
And also in the piece that Baxter Holmes did, he was talking about Zion's journey, right? Zion started playing youth basketball at 5 years old against players older than him. Actually, in the piece it said competing against those twice his age, and he's been on the travel circuit ever since then. He'd play 4 games in a weekend, maybe 5 or 6, then train for hours every day during the week. And then, oh, by the way, hey, Friday's come. Get ready. We got a tournament this weekend. The wear and tear you're putting on these young kids' bodies, you're getting to the point that they're not meant to do this. They're growing. They're young. And here they are playing so much basketball focused on one thing where, like, there are some other kids, like Keegan Murray's a great example. I was listening to a podcast he did with a friend yesterday, and Keegan's talking about, like, oh, I play baseball. I play basketball. Like, playing other sports, not just playing tournaments all the time.
Well, that's what I was even going to say with some of these people, too. If they're playing AAU ball, think about if they're playing for their junior high team, their high school team, right? Like, they're still practicing with those teams. They're playing with those teams, sometimes obviously opposite seasons, but they do summer training for high schools and for school teams as well. So, like, you are trying to do it all as a kid. And on top of that, think about this, Deuce. Think about how much bodies have evolved since we were little, right? And you think about the skill level that that are now like 10-year-olds with understanding muscle, plyometrics, everything else that comes into play when it comes to ball handling and pace and all these things that they do to train, because there's so many more resources out there. It's just going to make their body develop differently as well.
Yes, and that's where you go. We talk about load management with these adult NBA players. Maybe the load management should be happening when they're kids. And you need to let these kids be kids. Go have fun and play basketball, play games. And I'm not saying get rid of tournaments or anything like that. But when you start talking about, oh, wait, Zion was like playing against players twice his age, when he was 5. Then he was traveling all the time, practicing, multiple times a week, tournaments, training. Then you see what kind of he's been dealing with in the NBA. It's like, well, what are we doing here? And it's not just Zion. I mean, I detailed all these ACL injuries.
Yeah, it's really tough too because, I mean, the study is so in depth and it is disturbing in so many ways. And I think as adults, a lot of us, that played youth sports growing up at high levels, at whatever level it may be, it's like, but our bodies could take it. We could drink a Frappuccino and eat a bean and cheese burrito from Taco Bell before a game and burn it off, baby. Like that was the vibe and what you could do. And now, again, I think because people are taking it more and more serious at a young age, that the seriousness of training has taken a new level, which has taken bodies to another level. And yeah, it's scary.
It's such a big business, right? Like think about how even like things have changed. Like the youth sports circuit, basketball circuit is pretty insane. I know everyone wants to blame AAU for every basketball issue ever. I think that's completely unfair.
It is. I loved AAU.
So
sort of.
I mean, it can be problematic too, but like, I think the bigger issue is like these kids need to be kids. You don't need to be like, hey, we need to train this kid every day after school going hard. Like, yeah, I mean, work on your handles, work on the skill work. And I think we just need to protect them a little bit more.
It's so true, but this country doesn't really like the kids. Like, let's be real.
In the chat, is it Brucia? I don't know if I'm saying it right. They say my son just started his first AAU program at 15, even though people have been trying to get him on their team for years because of exactly this reason. Yeah, and it's tough because as a kid you want to play on these teams, you want to play with your friends, and honestly, you play AAU. It was fun. How fun was it to travel and be like, oh, this weekend we're in this place, we're in Reno for this tournament.
And how many times I sacrificed like school events and plays and
now
all
look at
these
you.
things.
You're working with me, huh?
And now, oh, great. That's what this led to, huh? No, but it was, dude, traveling even just to practices in Placerville. I remember we had our Pacific Pistols. If anyone knows that AAU team, thank you.
Everyone in chat
You'd be surprised.
I love the
NorCal Elite, if you remember that AAU team, let's go. But even going there for practices with some teammates, I still have letters of me and my teammates because we were at junior high together practicing and playing at that school. And then we'd go to AAU together. We have notes that we'd write back and forth in class. And I'd be like, just can't wait for practice. Signed Morgan Reagan #4. Because that was Chris Weber.
That's hilarious. And I don't necessarily think it's just the games being played, right? Like, tournaments have been around for a long time.
Yep.
I think it's more the intense training where like these young kids are like lifting weights, like weight training. Like all of a sudden you see this, like how many times have you been on Instagram and seen like some 70-year-old going at the squat rack?
Or like what are the box jumps? And like it's like some kid just doing like a 20-footer.
It's a little intense. It's a little intense. It's one thing to go out there and play multiple games. I mean, growing up, how many times on a weekend you would be at like a park or you go to Cal Fair 24 and just play games all day? Of course that's fun. I just think it's different when we start including, we're playing all these games. Oh, we're doing practices all the time. We're lifting weights. We're 11 years old. Put the weights away.
But hey, there's some parents out there that are like, we can make a lot of money like this, kid. Let's do this. Let's go in this direction. And then the kid doesn't really know. It's like having a child actor, right?
Yeah.
Kind
of. And then they get broken when they're adults.
And then they do drugs.
AJ says, I always say I grew up playing a lot of AAU teams around Sacramento, and sometimes I'd play up to 8 games a weekend. I'm now 19 and my body is killing me. Damn.
Yeah. I played in a lot of different leagues in Orangeville that they were all boys leagues. So I was always the only girl playing with boys my age. And I remember, you've played rec ball with me. It's like, for the most part, I get treated like an equal. I would get beat up and stuff, but it only made me better. But I wasn't doing that every weekend for 10 years straight.
It's like how you treat me on the podcast and on the show for sure. That's how, I'm sorry. Betty in the chat says, sports parents have known this for 20 years. Cross-training is vital for skill development. Also, let kids decide. Parents need to stop pushing one sport at a high level. Let the kid have some fun.
Good point.
That's what it boils down to.
Good point.
Agreed. We're going to talk some more Kings and Clippers. A big weekend for the Kings coming up. But next, we got a catch up with a guy who's trying to turn around a program, and he's doing a good job. The head coach from Sac State's men's team, David Patrick, joins us next on Sactown Sports. Appreciate the YouTube chat. That was an interesting discussion we had.
It was.
You know what's crazy about this show?
What?
We went at the end of last hour, talking about Coco Beware's parrot dying and bats flying at me at McKinley.
Yes.
To like a serious in-depth thing, like, yeah, protect the kids.
Protect the kids.
Yeah.
That's going to be our shirts that we're going to make now.
If you're in the live chat and you have not done so yet, make sure to hit that thumbs up button. It just helps us grow. Please.
Oh, please.
I need to tweet out that we got David Patrick coming up.
We got David Patrick coming up.
Catching.
Oh, I need to get a little Advil.
Hey, Deuce.
Hey, Chris.
I sent you an email for the giveaway today.
Ooh, I forgot we got a giveaway. We got a little AEW. Beam says, I just hit the thumbs up button. All my soreness from intense sports as a child went away. That's funny.
Can't remember if I already took Advil.
I mean, don't worry. You're not going to OD on
Okay.
Advil.
You can OD on Advil.
No, you can't. I mean, you'd have to take like 100 of them.
I just have to get completely ready for a game. So as long as I don't OD on Advil, I'm good.
Carlin, you get your pill coming up in a half hour, buddy.
Oh,
2
good.
pills.
Smart. Good point. Good point.
One for him, one for me.
Oh, you heard pill, huh?
Jamar says the Clippers ain't ready for tonight. Well, they might not be because they're going to be really short-handed. I'm going to see if I don't think the injury report is up yet for them because it's the second half of back-to-back. Comes out later this afternoon. Let's see. Yeah. De'Aaron Fox is still on the injury report, but he said yesterday he was playing, so I believe him. Just in case you guys were concerned if I believed him.
He's believed. I believe.
Hit that thumbs up.
Hit that thumbs up. BYOB. Bring your own beam. I like it. Beam Supreme. Wow. You're really.
Secret time?
Yeah. Oh, no. It's.
Okay.
Smells normal.
Okay. I don't want to say it again. Okay. There's a secret. I don't think anyone heard us.
No.
Good
It's.
you want a stick?
Makes way more sense.
5 seconds.
Unless no one.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Christopher Ladd with your Sactown Sports headlines. Kings are back in action tonight when they host the LA Clippers. Clips are coming off of a 115-91 loss to the Warriors last night. They will be without Kawhi Leonard due to load management. For a preview on tonight's Kings-Clippers game, check out Frankie Cartoscelli's preview on SactownSports.com. Kings coverage on Sactown Sports starts tonight with Scott Marsh and the high flyer Henry Turner with game night at 5:30. Tip-off scheduled for 7 right here on Sactown Sports. And now more of Deuce and Mo.
Deuce and Mo on Sactown Sports.
Juice Mason, Morgan, Reagan on a Friday. Welcome in. How you doing, Mo?
I'm great now.
Yeah, you feeling good?
I'm feeling good right now.
You got your coffee.
Got my
your
coffee.
Sinus thing is a little better.
I just took some Advil, so
Congrats.
I'm vibing, man.
Well, we're expected to catch up with Sac State men's head coach David Patrick coming up in just a minute or so because Sac State has been killing it. And I was telling Jason the other day, I mentioned this to you, got to do a better job of highlighting
Agreed.
some of these great local stories in our region.
Yeah.
We spend so much time talking about the Kings and we get into the national stuff. It's like, dude, these people in your backyard, they're balling, they're doing great things, not only from like a college perspective, high school, there's a ton of talent here.
And just
highlight these cool stories.
what it does for an entire sports community. I mean, I know for me growing up, it was just something that like inspired me to go in this direction for a career path. And I think for so many others, it just, can implement confidence, and it's great.
Well, let's bring him in. Let's waste no more time. Sac State's men's basketball head coach. Super excited to catch up with him in his first year, and what a year it's been for him trying to shape this program. David Patrick, the list of accomplishments has been pretty nice. Most wins by a first-year head coach in the D1 era, top 6 seed for just the second time in 16 years. Your team's getting ready for the Big Sky Conference tournament. A lot of excitement, not only with the men's program, the women's side. How you doing, Coach?
I'm great, man. Thanks so much for having me on your show. I just ran up here from practice, so excuse my attire.
That actually looks kind of nice. And look, Coach looks a little cut in that shirt, huh?
Yeah, I mean, wait, are you running with the guys or what?
It's called stress.
Well, Coach, this is an exciting time, man. I know conference tournaments are always fun. You guys play coming up on Monday. Before we get into all that, this is your first year with this program. Why was this the right spot for you in Sacramento?
Look, I've been blessed to be a head coach before at UC Riverside, for 2 years before the pandemic hit. And, I always said when I was going to take a head coaching job again, it was going to be the right fit in terms of people, city I want to live in, city I want my kids to grow up in. And so I was very selective this second time through becoming a head coach. I had some other opportunities this summer to go to some quote unquote bigger and better places people would think from the outside were, but it wasn't the place where I wanted to raise my family. And somewhere I thought I could win. And I really thought this was an untapped product here in Sacramento with everything going on here. And when you talk about our administration and our athletic director, I think it was the perfect choice for me and my family.
What really excites you about building this program, and what's your dream for this program?
And you hit the net, like building program, and I know it's a lot of people say it, but some places you don't have the time to build it. People, the administration you're working for don't give you time to build it your way. And I've been fortunate to work with Mark Orr, our athletic director, before at St. Mary's, and understand that he knows what program looks like, and he knows it takes time. And he's given me the resources to hire a great staff and to be able to go out and recruit the kind of staff and players I want. And so I see this program being a top 3 program in the Big Sky. And if you look at what football's done, at what Coach Campbell's done with women's hoops in such a short amount of time, if you look at our baseball team over the years, what Reggie's done, why not men's basketball being at the top of the Big Sky with the great city and great university we have?
Yeah, it just seems like Sac State's in a great spot. I'm born and raised in Sacramento. I graduated from Sac State. Stingers up. Used to write for the State Hornet back in the day. Yeah, so it's cool to just see this going in a really positive direction. One thing that has kind of jumped out is like this synergy. Not only, of course, you have synergy with your team, but like cross programs, like not only with the football program, but I even saw you tweet about the women's program and what they've accomplished over there with what Mark Campbell winning Big Sky Conference Coach of the Year. And I don't know, I just dig it. And I think that fosters a really positive environment.
No, it does, man. You talked about my resume. I've been in a lot of universities and a lot of programs. So I've seen what works, what doesn't work at the highest level. And it starts with synergy, right? With your athletic department, with not one sport thinking they're bigger than the other. That's the programs and athletic departments that last a long time. And that's what I was really yearning when I decided to come back in this chair. So to see the success they've already had and to see where our program is in such a short amount of time, and the support we've got from the community and the school is great. And I think the future is bright here for us.
I know, obviously, when you're a coach, you're competitive. You want to win every game. You guys have played a lot of close games. How do you stay patient as a head coach?
My players would tell you it's tough. So I would say that. But I know it's a process, and I've been a part of three rebuilds as an assistant and one as a head coach. And so I know you can't get to home base overnight. Like you've got to, hit some bumps in the road to get there. And my whole deal was like, are we making progress as a team? Are we making progress player development wise? And the wins will come. If you're just result orientated, it can rock you about. But I'm kind of process orientated and seeing, are we getting better every day? And we just watched film today called Get Better. We do it every day. Are we getting better or are we getting worse? And those results will speak for itself. And I feel that even in our losses of late, we've got better as a team and probably getting better at the right time of year.
You talk about progress. What areas of progress have you seen from maybe the start when you kind of took over this program to now as you prepare for the Big Sky Conference tournament?
Look, from a defensive standpoint, and a rebounding standpoint, we're top 20 in the country rebounding. And I said that when I got here, I wanted to be top 10 in the country rebounding. And that's easy to say and hard to do. But the buy-in has to come from the players, right? And they've bought in from day one. So I see that rebounding, keeping us in games and winning us some games. And then I see the defensive effort, coming in and the sharing of the basketball. That takes time, man. When you're a new coach with new players, this transfer portal's made the world a lot harder in college hoops. So you're trying to get guys to share the basketball that might have been shooters or hunting shots in the past. Their buy-ins helped, and I've seen it grow probably over the last month of buying into what we're asking them to do. And so just happy where this team is at the moment.
That's great, man. That's really cool. The other cool thing this year I've noticed is like Mike Brown showing up at one of your games, and it goes to this is a basketball town, and I think seeing Mike put you guys over, because you guys deserve more attention. This program is going in a great direction. It's just been cool to hear him like shout you guys out and come and support you guys. What for you as a coach, what's it mean to see someone like Mike Brown come out and be so vocal about what you're doing with the program?
Oh, a lot. And Mike's been a mentor for me for probably 20 years, 15 to 20 years. I'm aging myself here. But, every job I got, even last summer, I was talking to Mike about a potential job, and so I've leaned on them for a lot of stuff. And I'll never forget, it was about a week from the day they were in the playoffs against the Warriors. Against the Mavericks when he was at the Warriors. And I had just probably got the job. He didn't know whether he was getting this job. And to see where we are 12 months later, see the success of his team and his culture, and see what he's done in Sacramento, and for us to be here at the same time has been just really neat to be a part of. And to have him backing us, you can't ask for a better guy or better organization to be backing your program.
Yeah, what's it been like to have a relationship with him over the years? Like, what have you maybe learned from him?
One, how he treats his players, and one, how he acts on the sideline. I work for. I won't say who I work for, but I've seen some other characters on I've seen some other characters on the sideline, sure. and try to emulate sometimes you emulate who you work for, and I study Mike a lot and how he treats the media, how he treats his players. I've been fortunate to go to 3 or 4 of his training camps and watch him from afar. So his approach to players has been big to me. He gave me some advice early in the year. We're turning the ball over a lot, man, like to start the year. And, I preach passing and sharing the ball. And so does he with the Kings, obviously with their offense. But he told me, DP, you got to be more patient, man. These guys are going to make mistakes because you're asking them to do something they haven't done before. And that advice has helped me not kick over a couple water coolers during halftime, because I go back to that. So just that. Yeah. This helps a lot for me,
Well, hopefully you're not kicking over any water coolers at the Big Sky Conference tournament. Maybe they're like dumping one on you if it goes well. Yeah. You guys take on Weber State. I know you're 0-2 against it, but those have been some really close games. Like, what's kind of your guys' mindset headed into that Big Sky Conference tournament game?
Look, they're obviously at the pinnacle of the league, and have been for many years. But there are 2 games we lost on the buzzer. At their place, we lose on the buzzer. In our place, we lose on a missed block out. And now you got to credit them for the win. But a lot of some of those mistakes were self-inflicted. And so you're hoping when you go up there, you don't make those same mistakes again and give you a chance to win. But it's a team that we've come close to before. The good thing in this tournament, with every team we've played the 1-possession games in the whole event. And that's what makes the Big Sky really, really neat. It's not usually the case in year one. Usually you're getting drubbed by 10, 20 points every game in that first year. But we've been in some close games, and Weber State's the first one on the bat, and we're hopeful we can get some revenge of how we lost to them here and at their place.
Well, we wish you the best of luck. Monday's a big day for hoops because you got the women playing in the early afternoon.
Yeah.
And then you guys playing at night on ESPN Plus against Weber State. We're excited for the program, and hopefully you guys really go out there and destroy. We wish you the best of luck.
Good luck, Coach.
Thanks so much, man. Thanks so much for having me on the show.
Absolutely. That's David Patrick from Sac State joining us on Sactown Sports.
Oh, so cool. So excited for all them.
Dude, the energy from these coaches, man.
I know. They vibing.
Yeah.
They vibing. They
Really
feeling
cool.
good.
Really good stuff. So hopefully the women go beat Idaho, and then the men go and beat Weber State.
Let's go.
Stingers up. All right, coming up next, we'll talk some more hoops, bounce around the NBA a little bit. It's Deuce and Mo on a Friday. This is Sactown Sports.
Be right back.
Bye. What up, party people? Okay. What is up, chat? What you got? Kings fan sneak. Late to the show. Don't worry. It's 3 whole hours. What we got here? State Hornet represent. Brooke. You nerds. You little nerds. Need a Dellavedova bobblehead, says Chris. Yeah. What would his shot look like if they put him in like bobblehead form doing a shot? No, not a shot, but like shooting the ball shot. Fast break podcast. Sorry I'm late. Won't happen again. Hey, again, it's okay, guys. 3 hours during the day. I mean, it's really cool. The people that just turn us on for the whole 3 hours. I really appreciate it.
Hi.
What's up, Deuce? Jamar says, Clippers ain't ready tonight. We bring in the beam.
Bring that beam. By the way, we have Frankie Cartoscelli coming over. He's actually
Come
not
on
coming
over, Frankie.
Come here. Good.
Hey.
We already put him on my lap. Little Frankie on my lap.
Oh, yeah.
Come here, Frankie.
Frankie.
Come here, Frankie. Frankie Cartoscelli is going to be joining us at 1 o'clock for a Kings Roundtable. He'll be in the studio. By the way, that's why you guys should check out SactownSports.com. You talk about content. Most radio station sites are bad. Sactown Sports is like, we're not a radio station. We're going to do more than that. He has a preview posted. He has a preview every game. And look, he's got a preview on tonight's game between the Kings and the Clippers. Frankie covers his team. He'll be at the game tonight covering things. That's not the only story going on at SactownSports.com. You can catch up on some of the stuff that we have done, including, look, Sac State women's basketball head coach Mark Campbell fired up for the program. That's our interview with him.
Heyo.
Boom. That's really cool. You got Kyle Draper. You got Combine Day 1 recap.
Let's
great stuff.
go.
That's all at SactownSports.com. That's a good promo, huh?
I love that promo.
Thank you.
Chris wants to know if we could hear him when we went to break. No.
Oh, no, we could not.
Mm-mm.
Oh, that's what we need to play coming up. The Coach of the Year. So the Kings put out a video of Mike Brown getting not Coach of the Year, Coach of the Month. Oh, Chris, why don't you try talking now?
Yeah.
Oh, this is a 3-minute long video.
Whatever.
Okay, we might have to watch this whole thing. I don't care.
Yeah,
It's good content.
that's so cool.
Good content is good content.
Oh, Chris says he curses in the video.
Oh, okay.
Good eye, Chris.
Where?
Yeah. Tell us where and we'll stop it. Chris, I can't believe we can't hear you. I don't get what
Yeah, that
happened.
doesn't make sense.
He said he curses near the end.
Okay, that's the only time he curses?
I don't get what happened from now.
Oh man. Okay, Chris is testing some things right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't changed anything, Chris. So it
How about
makes
now?
no yes.
Yes.
I
What'd you
figured it out.
do?
It's just something. 5
Chris.
seconds.
Okay. All right, stand by.
It's Deuce and Mo.
Deuce and Mo.
Sactown Sports.
Oh man, the Sacramento Kings put out a video that's getting a lot of love that I've not seen yet. And it's of the Kings coaching staff, his assistant coaches, letting Mike Brown know that he won NBA Coach of the Month.
Love it.
Chris Verlod told me that at some point
At
Mike
the end
Brown
of the video.
cusses in this. When you say the end of the video, what are you saying, Chris? Is it like
3-minute mark? 2:45?
Literally just watched it during the break, so I would say it's when he starts talking to everybody. So maybe not even the end, maybe like in the middle.
Well, could we get that and like bleep it out so we could play it at some point?
Like I can record it and we can bleep it out.
Yeah, sure.
Why
Okay.
not?
I guess. Man.
Why not record it and bleep it out?
I don't get why we have to bleep things out these days. So dumb.
The FCC needs to go away, says Morgan. Well, we'll try to get to that in a bit. By the way, coming up at 1 o'clock, Frankie Cartoscelli is scheduled to join us. One thing I did want to play though,
What?
in this segment, I saw something about former NBA player Carlos Boozer today, and it is probably one of the more insane stories I have ever heard. He was talking about when he's playing for the Utah Jazz, he didn't want to live in Utah. He wanted to live in SoCal. He bought a house and someone wanted to rent the house.
Yeah.
This is from the Dan Patrick Show. Just listen to this story.
I went to the Utah Jazz and I wanted to live in LA. So I bought a nice crib. It was in Bel Air. I spent $8 million on it. So it was huge. It was like 18,000 square feet. It was immaculate. It had like 10 bedrooms and huge pool, 3 living rooms. It was incredible. So I go back to Utah and I'm getting a phone call from my realtor. And she's like, hey, someone wants to really rent your house out. I was like, I barely lived in the house. I've been there for 1 month. I don't want to rent my house out. And she goes, well, he's willing to pay, $95 grand a month. Oh, 95 grand a month. So I rented out for a year. I had to go out there to sign the paper. So on the off day, I flew out there and he comes out of a car and it's Prince. I'm like, whoa. So I'm trying to like hold my composure a little bit. And anyway, long story short, he rents the house out. I hurt my hamstring that year. So I come to LA. I hit Prince up. I'm like, hey, I'm coming to town. I'm going to go stop by the house. If you need anything, let me know. And didn't hear back from him. So I go down the street where I thought my house was at. I pull up to the gate and I had these 2 lions on the gate and they weren't there anymore. It was like this big symbol. I didn't know what the symbol was. So I'm looking at the gate and I'm like, I know this is where I thought I left my house. So I put the code in and it works. Gates open up and I'm like, what is going on? Go up the driveway and there's like this huge purple carpet. My ex-wife furnished a whole 18,000 square foot home. I get in there and none of my stuff is in there anymore. It's black carpet, it's purple couches. There's pictures of him everywhere. He had like one of the guest rooms into like a hair salon. He did make my weight room into a disco ball nightclub. I was pissed. I was like, what happened to my house? We didn't agree to this. I'm trying to get a hold of him. I'm calling. I'm like, I'm going to sue you. And who wants to sue Prince? Really? Like, who? He's like, Los, don't worry. When I move out, it'll be like I was never there. And he wired me 500 grand to ease my mind.
$500K to ease my
So
mind.
think about that. Number one, someone wants to rent Carlos Boozer's house he just moved in for $95,000 a month. I'm in. It turns out it's Prince. Oh my God. You go to your house and everything's changed.
Into Prince like house.
Morgan, when I told you this before the show,
Yeah.
your reaction was interesting because you said, I would not change it back.
I would not change it. Like Prince did that to your house. It has Prince's print on your house and it makes it iconic with just, I wouldn't want black carpet. I wouldn't want a disco ballroom as my weight room, but Prince did it. So I'm keeping it that way at that point. Just great. Well done. Purple carpet going up to the house. $95,000 a month. I would totally rent my house out to Prince. I don't know if he would want my place, but
He probably wouldn't. But black and purple, I don't know if I would leave the whole house that way, but I would definitely be like, hey, like, can you leave some stuff?
Yeah.
Harlan, what are you doing? Oh, stupid dog.
Can you leave some stuff. Yeah, interesting story. Also, what an interesting lifestyle that NBA players have. Like, just bought an $8 million house in Bel Air, big giant mansion, but playing in Utah. What is that? What is that
What a
life? What is that life?
What a life.
So weird.
Morgan, Kings, Clippers tonight.
Uh-huh.
Kings, T-Wolves tomorrow night. I was listening to Kevin Herter. He joins the morning show with Dave and Jason weekly. He's talking about the Kings culture. Check this out.
Top to bottom, it's Monty, it's Wes, it's Mike, it's our training staff, it's our assistant coaches, it's our players. It's all stuff that goes in to have a winning culture. It's the stuff that the great organizations do, the stuff you hear from organizations like the Spurs. They've done it for so long, and the Miami Heat and Golden State Warriors, and now hopefully the Kings are mentioned in the similar circles. It's a true top to bottom thing, and it's something we've been, we started the year off our very first team meeting. I think everybody in the organization had to sign a piece of paper that everybody was bought in and fully a part of doing what it takes to be a winning team and to end this drought. And nobody's wavered off of it.
That's so true. And I know Keegan Murray was on a podcast. I tweeted that out. He went like 90 minutes with his friend.
Yeah.
Which I've never heard Keegan talk for 90. I honestly didn't know he's capable of talking for 90
So much
minutes.
personality.
It was great. It was really interesting to hear his journey. But that was some of the stuff that they've been talking about. It's just like the culture and how, like, it doesn't matter if someone's not playing or playing. Like, everyone is seemingly just bought into the mission. And I think that's probably what has been most fun about this team. Of course, the wins are amazing. Being the number 3 seed in the Western Conference is awesome. But there is something special that when you watch a team that you could just feel that they like each other, that they play for one another, that they support it. You turn on NBA games and it can even be a good team. It doesn't look like they're all connected all the time. It looks like there's weirdness even when they win. So it's just refreshing that the Kings seemingly have a true squad.
It's refreshing, the energy that it brings to a building, to a city. It's incredible what a good team can do. And when I say good team, I'm not even just talking about like a sports team. I'm talking about, doesn't matter if it's at your job or if it's, with you and your partner, whatever it is, good teamwork can just create so many more positive things throughout an entire life.
Jeremy was just asking, have you seen the 80-minute interview with Keegan and his friend?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. No, that's what we were just talking about. It was a really good interview. It was, I saw some people joking about the guy doing the interview. Like,
why?
Because the guy just started a podcast, right? He's a hooper. I didn't expect him to be Barbara Walters in her prime. Like,
oh, is that what people wanted?
It's like, dude, he was just catching up with it's his old middle school friend, did a podcast with him, and it was cool. Keegan was just open about things. He was talking about the game against the Clippers. He was talking about kind of overcoming some of the hurdles this year. He's talking about one thing that really helped Keegan Murray, he said, was creating a routine. He didn't have a routine. And he realized when you're on the road and you're traveling so much, you need to have like staples that at this time I do this.
Yeah.
This time I do this. And having a routine has really helped him. And he's been playing some really strong basketball.
And that's content these days too, right? Like, you don't need necessarily a Barbara Walters. If you have someone who can connect and get Keegan Murray to smile for 90 minutes and like actually have the show off more of his personality, that's the I'm there for that content.
Yeah, I'm about the content. I'm not breaking down this guy going, his questions aren't very good. Dude, it's 2023.
Come on now.
If there's some good nuggets in there, I'm all about it. So yeah, it was an interesting interview. Also, I want to hook people up right now.
Ooh.
Coming up this Sunday
Yeah.
is AEW Revolution. But what comes after AEW Revolution on Sunday, Morgan?
I know. Do you know?
The Fallout. Oh, from AEW Revolution coming up Wednesday at Golden One Center. AEW, All Elite Wrestling. We're talking about Chris Jericho, the Demo God, the Wizard, Bryan Danielson, MJF. A star-studded cast will be at Golden One Center for the first time ever Wednesday night with AEW Dynamite and Rampage. I'm going to hook caller 10 up right now at 916-339-1140. If you're caller 10, you will score 2 tickets to AEW's first ever visit to Sacramento. You can get your tickets at goldenonecenter.com/events. All right, coming up next. You ready for Frankie?
Oh, I'm ready for Frankie Cartoscelli.
We did talk about another Frankie today, the parrot. Coco Beware's
Which
parrot.
Frankie would you rather have for King's Roundtable?
Are you serious?
Yeah.
The parrot.
Oh.
And I like it because it would be in the other room. It would be in the studio. We would not be in the studio with it. And be like, yeah, Fox, caw-caw.
That was a better pair. I would rather have Frankie Cartoscelli.
All right, well, Frankie Cartoscelli joins us coming up next for the Kings Roundtable. This is Sactown Sports. Carlin, are you ready to take a pill?
Oh yeah,
now?
go drug him up.
No. I need to tweet out about Frank.
I'll drug him up.
Okay.
What does he need? The T and the G?
The T and the G. Gabba petting, baby.
Here we go. One for you, one for me.
Huge weekend for the Kings. Time for our Kings round.
How about we test out this video and mic with Frankie?
Okay. Hey, Frank.
Can you see Frankie?
We can.
I can.
Ooh.
I can see. I'm
Can
in
you hear
the I'm in the big chair for the first time in like ever.
Oh,
What's
he
that
can't
mean?
hear you.
He can hear me?
I can.
Yeah, you can hear Deuce, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Frankie, you can hear me, Frankie?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Frankie,
I heard you say you
one.
wanted a pirate over me, so I heard that.
No, it's not a pirate. Frankie the parrot is Coco Beware.
pirate.
Is
Parrot pirate.
Do you know who Coco Beware is?
No, I don't.
Wow. Okay. He's an icon. He's a WWE Hall of Famer.
I go through this with Nick too. I don't watch WWE. I guess I kind of have to start doing that. Maybe. I mean, I Royal Rumble one time. I went to a buddy of mine, his house, and I won both women's and men's pool. So that was pretty cool. Yeah,
that's actually dope.
Didn't even know
by
what
the
was
way,
going on.
don't call it the big chair. It's just a chair in there.
It's a big chair.
Why is the big? Why is it a big chair?
This is where all the heavy hitters sit. You know, right? I mean, the big heavy hitters, right?
No, there's definitely some heavy people who sit in those chairs. I'm not gonna call them heavy hitters.
I mean, whoever sat here last, I mean, they must. I mean, Jason's like 1,000,000 feet tall, and so is Dave. I mean, I feel like I need to be like lower, but I guess it's all right. I feel a little tall today.
Why is it, can you move the monitor?
What monitor?
You know, the one that has our Sac
This one?
Republic. Yeah, you know.
Oh, yeah.
just clean up your shot, man. You're in the big chair, like you said.
I don't know. I'm usually in the corner. They put Frankie in the corner.
How you doing, man? Everything good with you?
Everything's good. Yeah, everything's good. Just got back from shoot arounds. That kind of situation.
Okay. Anything of note from shoot around?
The guys tried to give tried to give Micah Brown a big round of applause, a little pat on the back today, and he completely just moved right past it and did, team on 3, 1, 2, 3 break. So
damn, okay.
Tried to give him some props. Then Domas said after that he just didn't even acknowledge it. Just kind of went, all right, yeah. But no, it's exciting, man. There's a buzz in the building, buzz around the arena. I'm excited to get out there tonight.
I am too.
I think Frankie needs to change his name to Dave to sit in that chair. Yeah. Maybe. I mean,
I think Frankie's okay.
Do you?
Do we think? Let's see if there's. I'm looking at the latest injury report. Clippers still have not submitted yet. Okay. When do they have to submit in the next hour or something?
They have to. It's weird. They have to by 1, but then the NBA releases it at 1:30, and the line moved from 6 to 8.5. So I'm not sure what.
Is it? It's at 8.5 now.
Last time I checked. I could be wrong, or maybe my eyes looked at it and saw 6.5.
It is 8.5, dude.
Yeah, so they know something.
So when I looked this morning, it was at 7. I looked before the show, it was at 7.5, and now the Kings are favored by 8. That tells me, I mean, I'm not
Paul George.
I'm not Mr. Sportsbook here, okay? I don't gamble at all, but
Deuce,
that tells me Paul George is probably not playing. What's up, Chris?
I mean, you podcast. It should be in your vernacular.
Yeah, Morgan knows nothing about gambling. When they do like a gambling's like a line thing on NBC Sports California, and they have to write out a script for Morgan to read because she's like over the minus 230 money line. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I know. I noticed 8.5.
Here we go.
Oh.
Sactown Sports
Headlines.
I'm Christopher Ladd with your Sactown Sports headlines. Kings are back in action tonight when they host the LA Clippers. Clippers are coming off of a 115-91 loss to the Warriors last night. They will be without Kawhi Leonard due to load management. For a preview of tonight's Kings-Clippers game, check out our Kings Cowboy, Frankie Cartoscelli's preview on SactownSports.com. Kings coverage on Sactown Sports starts tonight with Scott Marsh and the high flyer Henry Turner with game night at 5:30. The tip-off is scheduled for 7 right here on Sactown Sports. Now it's time for a Kings Roundtable with Deuce, Mo, and the Cowboy himself, Frankie Cartoscelli.
Yeah.
Live and local.
It's Deuce and Mo.
Watch the show now on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140 or listen for free on the Sactown Sports app.
This song makes me want to get the fog machine and spray it in Morgan's face.
Do it.
Doesn't this kind of fire you up? This music right here, a little Metallica before a big game. The Kings and Clippers tonight. The Kings try to get their 5th win in a row. Maybe De'Aaron Fox should come in with the shovel, because if they beat the Clippers tonight, they are not catching the Sacramento Kings. They're coming to bury the Clippers. The Clippers are going to be shorthanded tonight. No Kawhi Leonard. I don't think Zubats is playing. Norman Powell was in a sling last night. They just lost to the Warriors. Second night of a back-to-back, and maybe, just maybe, Paul George doesn't give it a go. And if Vegas is any indication, this point spread keeps getting a little larger. It went from like 6 to this morning 7. What? 7.5? What? And now it's an 8-point spread. Kings favored by 8 points. So we'll find out probably in the next half hour or so what's going down with the Clippers, who will be available. We do know De'Aaron Fox is scheduled to play tonight for the Sacramento Kings. I'm Deuce Mason. That's Morgan Reagan. Time for Low Kings Roundtable. Missing Chris Watkins today, but we're talking now with a guy who covers the Kings for Sactown Sports, has his Kings Clippers preview up at SactownSports.com. The one and only Frankie Cartoscelli.
Yeah!
What's up, Frank?
Hey, guys. Happy Friday. Yeah, missing Chris, but he got his wedding on a Thursday wedding.
I'm right here. I'm not going to a wedding. What are you talking about?
Oh. Chris Watkins.
No?
Oh, gotcha.
Chris Watkins. Is he's at a wedding or getting married?
No, he went to a wedding.
Yeah.
Not getting married. He does have a wonderful lady, Sam, who is amazing singer. We talk about me, I feel like, every time we come on this show.
Yeah.
And I mentioned to Chris, we're going to get to you at some point, and I think it came up almost like the girlfriend aspect of I have a girlfriend, whatever, she watches games with me, but Sam is a mega Kings fan. Chris's longtime girlfriend, Sam, and she is an incredible voice. She sings. You guys have to hear her. She literally needs to be famous. She's in a band. She performs around the area. Sam Sharp music.
Whoa.
Incredible. So Chris,
wait.
You're not here, but we're going to talk about that next time.
Are you really quick though? Are you thinking that I should give her all my P song lyrics to sing and then she just performs them?
We might need a cover because she would really steal the show. Not that you're
that's
not great.
fine.
You are
No.
incredible. Maybe a duet. How about a duet?
No,
I think we should have a
just her.
Deuce and Mo variety hour. We bring in Sam.
Oh my
to
God.
Do some show
Yes.
tunes with you, maybe. And then we bring in
Just her.
Kyle, who works behind the scenes. Kyle Ledbetter, who is not only an author, a podcaster. He fancies himself as a stand-up comic. He
Yes.
does open mic nights around the area. Maybe he does a little stand-up.
We need
Really?
Yes.
Yes, that's confirmed.
I need to go sit in on one of those because I
Okay.
need to see that. Kyle, I didn't know my guy. I must come see that.
I'll say this: a couple of games ago, he showed me one of his impersonations.
And
He does a John Gruden.
oh, how was it? Not his best?
It sounded.
Well, you've got a
like-
pretty good John Gruden.
Hey, don't you do a Gruden?
Yeah. So my John Gruden. So here's my John. My John Gruden is me doing Frank Caliendo doing Gruden. Kyle's is Kyle doing my impersonation of Frank Caliendo's
No.
John Gruden. That's how bad it is.
No.
That's how. No, it is.
Well, maybe
And I
that's
think
what
he's
makes it
but
funny.
I'll tell you what, man. That's all I have. I'll tell you what, man.
You got one, Frankie?
And John Gruden sucks. so
John
who
Gruden,
cares?
tell you what, man, about that JJ Watt, man.
Yeah, that's
Hell
everyone
of a
has
player.
one.
Yeah, man, it's kind of easy. You just talk really
It is.
short and kind of close your mouth. And you
Yeah, yeah.
Good job,
yeah.
guys.
He'd probably say some racist things.
Yeah,
so
I
I'm
was
really-
I had to stop it right there.
Yeah.
Notice how the player example was JJ Watt. So.
Well, Frankie, Kings and Clippers tonight. Big back-to-back Kings and Clippers tonight. Tomorrow night, the T-Wolves come to town. They're also on a second night of a back-to-back tomorrow night. Clippers really short-handed. I'm just curious, when you look at this game tonight, like, are you concerned at all that this Clippers team, even though short-handed, maybe could be playing desperate, especially considering that they've lost 4 games in a row and they just lost to this Kings team last Friday in LA?
Yeah, I mean, I think the shorthanded aspect always scares you when you're watching the Kings. They time and time again they've fallen short. I mean, the Philly game sticks out, a couple others obviously, but I mean, they're in a position here to really, like we talked about, bust out the shovels, put the Clippers away. I mean, a 6-game lead over the Clippers with 20 games to go. I think mathematically we'd have to see some crazy things for the Kings to lose a grip on that, but it's kind of a part of taking care of the teams that are in front of you, right? No matter whether it's, if it's Paul George out there tonight, Kings will have to deal with that. But even if Paul George doesn't play, the Clippers have a deep team. We've seen crazier things happen before. The Kings lost a game when they were fully healthy to the Hornets this year, who are awful.
Mm-hmm.
So taking care of what's in front of you. And the Kings obviously beat the Clippers last week at full strength in maybe the greatest game we've ever seen. So I feel comfortable going into tonight's game, and you have a full roster. You have Fox. I mean, Rashawn Holmes is questionable, but I mean, the core rotation guys you do have available tonight. So seeing the Kings play in front of a sold-out crowd, and I think that's something Kevin heard in the clip you played earlier, and Dave, who was on with Dave and Jason this morning, that Golden Wand's going to be a madhouse, not just tonight and tomorrow, but the next month. I mean, Kings have, I think, 10, 11 home games left, and we're going to see how big of an advantage that's going to be. I think it should be a bigger advantage than it's been so far. The Kings have been a good team at home, but I think they really need to set themselves apart and end the season on a high note at home. But I'm excited.
You mentioned the home road thing, by the way. The Kings are 18-13 on the road, which is fantastic,
Yeah.
right? The best road record in the Western Conference. They're 18-12 at home, which I know is still 6 games above 500, but for as loud as that place is, I think it's so important for them to finish the right way at home to get that going, because those fans, they could use that as an advantage. And you saw that the last couple of home games.
Well, and it's like we were saying, you guys, they lost a few weird ones at home, like even that Sixers one that we mentioned earlier without their stars.
Well,
right?
Dallas, the first game against Dallas, Luka didn't
No
play.
Luka. So it's like, it's the NBA that happens, but at the same time, like, how can you capitalize on the energy, the momentum from the fan base? And Frankie, something else, a strategy, technique, whatever you want to call it. Deuce and I were talking about earlier. I don't know if you saw the way that the Warriors defended Russell Westbrook last night. And we were talking about how we don't like the way that the Kings have been defending Russ. He's somehow shooting his best 3-point percentage on the Sacramento Kings, finds a way to go downhill and get to the basket. Last night, Draymond just stayed off of him, kind of disrespectful, but he still didn't end up producing much. Do you want to see the Kings kind of pull out something like this tonight?
I mean, yeah, you have to, especially if you have no Kawhi, no Norman Powell, who, I mean, both those guys combined for almost 70 points last game. Next up, Russell Westbrook. I mean, he's going to be a Hall of Famer. He's somebody who's been there before. I mean, he's been a number one option more times than not in his career. I think last game, mostly late, you kept kind of finding Keegan Murray in those spots. He got beat off the dribble a couple times going to the rim. That might have been on switches for the most part, but I think I want to see more aggressiveness. I mean, Davion Mitchell's a guy I think the Kings should go to maybe on Westbrook. I mean, looking at what Davion did last game, hopefully it was like a slump busting kind of performance. I mean, the defense has been there, but the offense as well, you hope he can kind of take that momentum forward, but you can't really lay down and expect Westbrook to have an off game and think, okay, maybe he'll run into a bad game now when, the track record shows you he enjoys playing the Sacramento Kings. And I think the bad defense that the Kings have had this year is a large reason why, but it might be because the Kings have focused on other good players on other teams in these matchups. I mean, whether it was Westbrook on the Lakers or the Clippers. I mean, De'Aaron Fox has not been a slouch defensively this year either. And maybe tonight he digs a little deeper and tries to hold Westbrook in check because of how shorthanded the Clippers are. So they definitely need to keep an eye on some of those guys. I mean, Terrence Mann, another guy who could get going. He's done it before. I think he had a 40-point game last year or a year or two ago. They have guys that can hurt you. And we still don't know. I think Zubac, I think he was close to coming back. I think he had a 30-20 game earlier this year, something like that, something ridiculous. So they have the guys to challenge the Kings, even without the big hitters like Kawhi. So
Look at Frankie trying to hold us in check from being confident.
Is that what he's doing?
Yeah.
Hey, come
they
on.
have some guys. So no, you're at home, and if Paul George and Norman Powell and Kawhi Leonard aren't playing, you win this game tonight. You need to take care of business. I don't. No, we're not going with
no
talent. No.
So wait, let me ask you, because we've talked about must win. Is this a must win game?
No.
Okay, that's the word that always gets you. So I'm wondering.
Yeah. I will not ever. You will not hear me say it's a must win until it's a playoff series where maybe the Kings are down, and the next time they lose, it's over. That's a must win.
You know what's funny though, Frankie? He did say to start the show, he goes, "I'd be really disappointed if the Kings lost tonight." Do you feel that same way?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, the Kings have lost countless games, missing like against shorthanded teams. They need to stop this trend. And tonight also is so important because, I mean, again, we talked about it before, picking up games in the NBA. It's not the same as I equate it to baseball. If you're down 4 or 5 games in baseball, you can pick that up in 4 or 5 days, just like that. Basketball, not as simple. You don't play every day. And if they have a chance to go 6 up on the Clippers, and then you win the season series, you just put so much space in between you. It's such a huge opportunity. And that's what popped in my brain last night when I saw the tweet that Kawhi wasn't playing tonight. I said, okay, well, normally most teams would say, here you go, there's a win. With the Kings, I feel like more times than not, they respond in these situations and they do come through, but there's still that part of you that's conditioned in you over the past 16 years to kind of think like I was kind of doing, not talking you guys down from being positive, but I don't want to say being realistic either. I don't know, maybe pessimistic, call it whatever you want, but I just want them to come out and show that they belong, and they've done that already this year, time and time again. This time is going to matter a little more. We talked about every game from this point on is the biggest game of the season, and tonight, as we've talked about, is the biggest game of the season to this point. So
yeah, you mentioned they win tonight. They are 6 games up on the Clippers, and I think a lot of people were concerned post-trade deadline. Hey, the Kings didn't really do much. They added Kessler Edwards, who we really haven't seen much of at all, and all these teams around them made moves. Well, there's just no guarantees, and this is what happens in sports all the time. We always want to crown somebody. We always want to say this is going to happen. KD just got back. We'll see what that looks like. They've got a big game coming up this weekend against the Mavs. That's going to be really fun to see, but Durant's first game looked good. The Clippers are 0-4. Since all those moves. That's not ideal. The Lakers losing LeBron for a few more weeks, even if you like the moves that they made, they're going to be done. So it's just interesting how it plays out. Oh, and by the way, the other team that made a big move, the Dallas Mavericks, they're 1-4 with Kyrie, or now 2-4 with Kyrie and Luka in the lineup. It's just funny how this stuff works out. I thought it was.
Yeah,
where's the laugh track?
Where's the laugh track?
Hold on. Let me say it. Let me try that again.
Yeah,
Let me try it again. It's funny how that stuff works out, right?
You got sausage arms and cankles.
We've doubled the tracks going on.
Wow.
Oh,
Just really hammered in.
It is interesting, but I know we have to break.
Yeah, we got a break. We're going to be back in 60 seconds on the radio side. It's the Kings Roundtable. Deuce Mason, Morgan Reagan, and Frankie Cartoscelli on Sactown Sports. What's up, YouTube chat? Appreciate you guys being here. Hit the thumbs up button if you have not already.
What is with the huge Capri Sun on the desk next to Frankie? What? Yeah, what is?
Okay, by the way, that does look like, from my angle, it looks like a Capri Sun, but it looks like it's a bag. I know what it is because I sit there usually. It's like a bag of what, trail mix or something?
It's a trail mix. Do we have like
It does look like a
totally
Capri Sun.
looks. That's why I was starting to laugh. I was like, "Oh my god!"
Is this like product placement? Like, is this
No.
for your product placement?
You
or-
should move it out of the. I don't know why it's been there for that long. Like it's a storage.
Did someone eat it?
We got in trouble yesterday for eating in a studio.
What? Who got mad at you? No, actually, maybe we can't air it out.
Yeah, well, I don't care. We didn't get in trouble.
I'm just kidding.
No,
okay. I threw away my empty salad box that I ate. I licked the box and I threw it away in the studio, and
it stunk after. I guess
it stunk. Even though that whole place smells like disgusting men.
Yeah.
But,
What kind of dressing?
Probably had some garlic in it. And
I mean,
is that?
It's not like I had fish.
Is that an office no? Is that like you're not?
No,
supposed
you're
to-
allowed. You just can't like heat up garlic.
It's Deuce and Mo.
On Sactown Sports.
It's the Kings Roundtable with Deuce Mason, Morgan Reagan, and Frankie Cartoscelli. Kings and Clippers tonight.
Heyo.
We haven't talked to Frankie about the Kings' last victory against OKC the other night, where the starters were spectacular. I mean, you had Davion Mitchell, who played well, but I want to get your thoughts on Keegan Murray. I feel like he's really come into his own lately. I feel like he's showing more and more, putting the ball on the floor, attacking the mid-range game, even last game, bringing the ball up in transition, running some pick and rolls as the ball handler. What has jumped out to you about Keegan recently, Frankie?
I think it's coming into his own. I mean, becoming more comfortable. You see it, I mean, with Mike Brown, who's challenged him time and time again, whether it's getting more rebounds or being more aggressive off the dribble, he's answered the bell every time. And just seeing him kind of take the ball in these situations where you normally expect him to swing the pass to the corner or make the extra pass, he's making a move to the basket. And that to me just speaks to his growth. And I watched some of his college tape a couple nights ago. Just wanted to kind of look back and see what he looked like as a number one option.
You hopped in the film room, huh?
I hopped in the film room. Yeah, shout out to the film room guys. Yeah. Drew, by the way, who texts me every day asking me to pick him up parking validations from the practice facility. I forgot. I'm sorry again, Drew. I don't think it's going to happen.
Shouldn't say that on air.
Well, it's an ongoing joke. I would never.
Okay.
I need them for myself.
Sure.
Parking validations. I can't really give them out when I need to use them immediately. But I watched some film on Keegan Murray, and watching him as a number one option, it's almost like a different person. Just kind of seeing him make these freak athletic moves, and he has them in the bag, and that mostly excites me for what's coming up in the next 1 to 2 years in his career. Because, I mean, what are we? We're in his 5th, 6th month as an NBA player, professional. And
yeah,
I mean, seeing what he did even in summer league, just seeing what he looks like as a number one option, which he was in Las Vegas and in San Francisco. That's a guy the Kings could realistically have here in the tank in about 1 or 2 years, maybe less. I mean, the Kings down the stretch, you never know what they need. They might need more from these guys. And especially if you're in a playoff series and you need to do some things a little different than before. I think a conversation that we had last night when I was on with Nick and Rami was, are the Kings built to be a playoff team? And as it stands right now, I mean, it's a huge question mark. I'd like to think they're probably more not than are, just because of how many holes are on the defense. It's
fired.
Defense. Just because of the defense, the defensive aspect of things.
What's their defensive rating in the fourth quarter of games, Frankie?
What about the
matters
first
most?
three, though? The first three?
I don't. It doesn't matter if you're scoring 160 points a game.
I
This is an
completely
offensive
agree.
league now.
Deuce
all
is
I'm
like
saying,
being major homer.
all I'm saying is there are some holes, and maybe you need some guys to step up more than before. And Keegan Murray is a great candidate for that. As someone who could be a wild card come playoff crunch, like the stretch in the playoffs or playoff crunch time. Keegan Murray is someone who could do some things that surprise some people.
Yeah, and it's cool, like, obviously, when you see guys develop and come into their own, but it's even cooler when you see the rookie that your team that has been losing for so long has drafted in the top 5 and is actually producing and growing right in front of your eyes the first season. And especially when we're talking about this team being a postseason team, 3rd in the West right now, and knowing what they can accomplish if he does step up. And that's why I hope that he continues to feel confident in his game. And you guys, we might see those moments that we've seen before in late games where he's not as assertive, he's not as selfish, and he's like, oh, let's let someone else do it because they don't need me doing it. And I just hope in those moments he feels empowered and finds ways to still remain aggressive.
And to that point, late in the OKC game, when it was like the OKC would not go away, he had a big shot at the end of a shot clock late in the game too. So that was encouraging to see. By the way, real fast, an update on the fourth quarter numbers. The Kings, number 2 in offensive rating in the fourth quarter. They're number 7 in the NBA in defensive rating in the fourth quarter.
Wow, are you throwing that one in Frankie's face?
And by the way, the teams around them, just for perspective, the teams around them in the fourth quarter: Cleveland, Miami, Milwaukee, Sixers, Celtics, Warriors.
And look, I'm getting called
pretty
Debbie
good group.
I'm getting called Debbie Downer. I know Debbie was on line 1 in the YouTube chat. Hey, I am so excited about this Kings playoff run, and I hope that they sweep the first round, whoever they play. I'm just saying, when they asked me yesterday, Nick and Rami, are they built more for the regular season or the playoffs? Regular season is what crept in my mind. I don't know, just because they have guys that or they don't have the experience. I mean, they have Harrison Barnes and Matthew Dellavedova on the team. I mean, there's the experience you need in HB. I'm not downplaying his experience at all. I'm just saying we might need to see some guys that need to prove themselves. I mean, Domantas Sabonis, I think when he was in the playoffs, he was a rotation piece in Oklahoma City. De'Aaron Fox has had big performances in college, and of course, he's been the best fourth quarter player in the NBA. Doing that in the playoffs on a national level, that's going to be something that I'm looking forward, to see happen. But
And Frankie, you're just being realistic to what we know. So that's why I'm not, I'm with you and I understand where you're going. So don't let anyone call you a Debbie Downer.
I'm not sitting here. I feel like I'm positive all the time. I'm not sitting here saying the Kings are doomed. They shouldn't even make it to the playoffs. They're just going to get swept anyway. No, I think the Kings they can compete with anybody on a nightly basis. I truly feel that. They seem to show it consistently on the defensive end, and here we are, 60 games in. They need to show it more. This is the time to show it. It would be a great time to do so.
We have an update.
Oh.
This is from Jason Anderson with the Sacramento Bee. I don't know if you got an early injury report update, but he says the Clippers are listing Zubats as questionable for tonight's game. Kawhi Leonard out. Norman Powell out. Marcus Morris out. Paul George not listed by Jason Anderson on this one. So I guess Paul George got some sleep and felt better, right? I guess that's what it means.
Maybe that could have happened. And I hope he is playing tonight just so then we can have, I don't know, more of a test.
Well, I mean, are you okay? You can show
I had like a half hiccup.
I mean, obviously now that Paul George is playing, I'm not, it does make it more challenging for sure. I mean, Paul's obviously a really talented guy. They still have weapons outside of that. So now I'm siding with Frankie. This is going to be a tough game.
Oh.
Yeah, and Zubac, he's been out for a while, and he's someone who, the Kings they've struggled defending the paint, and Sabonis can't play all 48. So that's when I definitely was a little, not worried about, but just kind of keep my eye on. And Plumlee last night had 20 rebounds. I think the Plum Dog with 20 boards. So
yeah,
Plum
he did.
Dog.
Yeah, 12 points, 20 rebounds against the Warriors.
almost Kings legend. Almost Kings legend.
Yeah, Kings legend.
And they also have other guys like Eric Gordon. We mentioned Westbrook. But yeah, Norman Powell's a big loss for them. That's a significant loss. I mean, he was in a sling last night, so he's out with a shoulder injury.
Yeah, and there's no timeline on that, obviously, but
Nothing updated. No.
But you look at what the Clippers are trying to do, you guys, and it's like this is why in these games, in my opinion, whether it's the second night of a back-to-back or not, it doesn't matter. You don't rest your guys. You go all out for these last 20 whatever games.
Yeah, the Clippers are going to be desperate tonight, and it's for the Kings to me to you got to show up with the right focus. I think they've done that this year. This year out of the break. That Portland game was a little weird early when they missed some shots and the Portland got off to a nice start. But for the most part, I feel like they've been ready to go.
Yeah, they're going to have to show it again tonight. It also, the first time of a back-to-back, you really want to start off on the right foot because Minnesota, who, by the way, which came to my attention, they're also on a back-to-back tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's just that time of the year. It's the dog days of the season. We're really getting through the finish line. And in my opinion, the Kings come out and they can make a statement early tonight. I just think that they can really control the pace from the beginning because we saw what happened last Friday, how no one really could come out and kind of put their foot down. And it's just, we don't need another one of those games. I think that's what Malik said yesterday. He's like, yeah, we're not doing that again tomorrow. We're not doing that again. Yeah. So if anyone wants to see that again, we don't want it. And even Fox said that he doesn't want it. It's fun for the players, I think, when they're in that moment and playing in that game. But man, I just don't think it's a situation you want to be in. And I think I talked about it. I don't know if it was with you guys or with Nick and Rami too, but losing games like that is just got to be the most, just the worst thing. Because let's just have a close game. Let's compete when the Kings are playing that new loaded Clippers roster. First overtime, I was like, if they lose this game, this is going to be this is really going to bother these guys. If they score 160 and lose. So no more of that. Let's just have a good, clean basketball game.
Yeah, that'd be nice. And by the way, the Clippers have struggled offensively the last two games. Last night, they scored 91 points in that loss. The game before that against Minnesota, they scored 101 points.
So just don't let them score 170 tonight.
Yes, please.
Okay.
That'd be good.
Yeah.
We're going to talk more about this game, including a Russell Westbrook stat that might blow your mind.
Ooh.
It's a Kings Roundtable. Deuce Mason, Frankie Cartoscelli, and Morgan Reagan on Sactown Sports. Hey, Chris.
Yo.
I got an email from AEW.
Did you?
Yep.
It's funny that you got an email, but I haven't gotten an email.
Hi, Deuce. I apologize, but we've exceeded our allocation.
Dang.
Apologize for the news, but appreciate your understanding.
He apologized twice.
I've done more for this event
than anyone.
than a wrestler. That's fine.
What?
It's fun.
Am I going to get dragged for asking what is this event?
Yes, you're going to get dragged,
All right.
Frankie. So would you like to continue?
I'm wondering. I'm curious what's going on.
You don't want to know.
All right.
No, I'm kidding. They were trying to go, or Deuce and Chris are trying to go to a wrestling show in San Francisco at Chase Center on Sunday as media members, but Deuce just got turned down because they usually allow one media member per station or whatever, and Chris was the first to do it, but Chris hasn't even gotten an email back about where to pick up his credential.
Yeah.
Oh, and I see Deuce now looking up tickets to the show on Sunday in San Francisco.
How much?
You know, 180. Yeah, 180 for lower level.
32. What was that?
Don't you work for like the Kings or Stockton Kings or 1140? Can't you try to like get a different medium like outlet though? Like listed as your.
Well, I thought yours. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's in San Francisco. I mean, I guess I could be like, well, what about covering for the King? I mean, I guess I could try to do that, but then he'd probably be like, well, why didn't you just say that to begin with?
Had to.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll just watch at home. You know, I could just watch at home, especially if I end up getting tickets for AEW Dynamite on Wednesday in Sacramento. I don't need to go.
Carlin is
I know
like,
Carlin's. Yeah.
Do the Eddie Kingston thing. Grab some Chinese food and watch wrestling.
oh, that sounds so delicious.
Sounds like a good night.
I love Chinese food.
I love Chinese.
It's so good.
It's just like the perfect amount of oil.
Shout out Shanghai Garden.
Oh my God.
The best.
You know what I'm talking about, Chris?
They're honey walnut shrimp.
Wow.
You know what's cool about them? They actually have some vegan options too for our vegan friends.
And their shrimp chow mein is bomb. And now I have to go to Shanghai Garden after this. Thank you.
Oh,
Actually, I want Shanghai Garden too.
I want Shanghai Garden.
How cool would it be if you walked into the Kings game tonight and the media dinner was Chinese food?
Well, that would be great.
It'll be
Probably not
chicken.
gonna-
It'll be
Yeah,
chicken,
I was gonna say, and hot dogs.
hot dogs, and cookies.
Dude, this is
cookies.
crappy news. Jonathan Isaac undergoing season-ending surgery to repair a torn left adductor muscle.
Ah,
Played just 11 games after missing 2 years.
so sad, dude. Some bodies are just. I mean, we had a whole conversation about
Yeah.
it early on. Some bodies are just not made for
Yeah.
sports.
Yeah, it's completely different from his separate other injuries. Yeah, it's
What was his other injury?
ACL.
Oh, yeah, okay.
which he did against the Kings in the bubble.
That's right.
Mm.
JJ Sub says, did you
5 seconds.
guys watch the Keegan Murray pod? Yes. Sam.
Sactown Sports.
Slow it down for me, Chris. It's Friday.
It's Friday, so you know what that means.
Yes, we do.
It's time for the Sactown Sports Chill headlines with Christopher Lawn.
So chill.
Clips Kings tonight. Kawhi is out for load management. Want to read a preview about this game? Check it out. Cowboys article, SactownSports.com.
Yeah.
Coverage for the game starts at 5:30. That's what game night at 5:30 and tip-off scheduled for 7.
Yes.
Right here on Sactown Sports. It is 1:28. Time to check out Coastside Medical Clinic, who's dedicated to providing breakthrough remedies for men. Now more of Deuce, Mo, Kings Cowboy, Frankie Cartoscelli.
Oh, yes.
It's Deuce and Mo.
On Sactown Sports.
Appreciate you guys hanging out with us. Nice chill update from Chris Verlod.
Love it.
Kings Roundtable, Deuce Mason, Morgan Reagan, and Frankie Cartoscelli. You guys want a crazy Westbrook stat?
Yes.
So, the last 14 games that Westbrook has started,
Okay.
even with the Lakers, you know,
Okay.
his team has not won.
Frankie?
These are stats. They don't lie. The last 14 games that Westbrook has started, his team has not won.
Now, what if you jinxed it for tonight?
I don't. It's amazing when people believe in jinxes or announcer jinxes. Every time I mention someone going to the free throw line, I'm calling the Stockton Kings game last night, Frankie, and I'm like, yeah, Chance Comanche at the free throw line. He is 5 for 5. He's not missed one tonight. And what does he do? He makes it.
And Deuce stares me down, gives me a dirty look while we're on the broadcast, and is like, see, no broadcaster jinx.
So wait, hold on. Morgan, are you on the side of there are broadcast jinxes?
Yes.
Yeah, superstition?
Yes.
Okay. I
See?
mean, I
Frankie, shut up. No, don't be dumb. Don't agree with Deuce.
I just can't sit here and think that what I'm saying, like to Brendan or to Chris on Media Row, is going to affect somebody. I think Malik had made 15 in a row free throws, and I think that Brendan or Chris pointed out, and then he missed the next one. I mean, how is that our fault? I don't know.
You are an absolute disgrace.
It's almost
disgrace.
It's almost as if a player doesn't shoot 100% from the free throw line during the course of an NBA season.
Okay, guys, it's not even.
Has a player ever done that?
It's that. Do you believe in like? Because I don't believe in a lot of things, but I do believe in like energy, and I feel like when you put a certain energy out there, it's like, oh, it just like puts a little bit more pressure on. If you say it out loud. Frankie, I used to play basketball. Like I'd have a lucky penny, and I'd put the penny in my shoe. I would have a game day routine where, I mean, this is bad, you guys, but truly in high school, I'd have a caramel frappuccino and a bean and cheese burrito from Taco Bell. That would be my pregame meal with the penny in my shoe.
Like superstitions? I remember.
Yeah, like I had to. Otherwise, I was like, oh, I'm going to be off.
Was there something special about the penny? Or is it just...
I found it heads up, so it was lucky, and then I had it for years. And
yeah, the classic, for some reason, heads up on a penny is lucky. Why is that? Why did that become a thing?
If it's tails, you have to get rid of it, right? You have to get rid of it. Tails?
Yeah. No, tails, you don't even pick it up. You just leave it. Deuce is going to look back on the history of why did we pick up heads up on pennies. But as he does that, but nowadays, because like we all use Apple Pay and credit cards, you're not going to find many lucky pennies anyway.
Yeah. I don't know. I just can't sit here and think that what I say or what I do is going to affect the outcome of a game. And I have some friends that are super, like I have a friend, shout out Alex, who is a massive San Jose Sharks fan. And he would not watch the Sharks in the playoffs a couple years ago at my house again, because they lost a game. And
because the Sharks are known for their massive postseason success.
Don't twist the knife on the poor guy.
I mean, golly.
Poor guy. Yeah, that was the year they won. I think the next like 4. I don't know. They won a winning streak, so he was just like, "I'm never watching hockey at your house again." That's
Deuce is looking up why people think pennies are lucky, and there's
a Google thing now.
Yeah, there's not a great explanation for why the heads portion means anything. They believe that items such as copper were gift from the gods. If you found some, you snagged it because it would provide protection from evil. People are insane.
I don't believe in
Let
gods.
me pick up this copper. This copper is going to save me. Oh!
Is tails evil?
It says legend also has it that you just can't go around picking up any penny. If you find a penny, heads up, it is associated with good and therefore free for the taking. It doesn't make any sense.
Who made this a thing?
Yeah, exactly. And people like Morgan and people to this day, actually, no one does that anymore. You don't.
That's what I said.
There's no change.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
So anyway,
quarters, like the quarters that used to come out with like the year on them.
What is wrong with you? What are you talking about?
Do
they still make quarters?
Like the ones that I honestly have not held change in my hands. I don't think in years. I don't know. Maybe I'm just like burying my head in the sand, but I have not held change in my hands in years.
What about cash?
Everyone's just like, man, why is everyone always mean to Frankie? What did Frankie
What do you mean mean to me for?
And then he says something like that. It's like, come on, dude.
I remember like it makes sense they stopped making coins. Like I'm not saying are they not printing money, but like what point is there to have coins right now in 2020?
There's a deeper issue. You might need coins. There is a digital divide, and like some people don't have.
Here we go.
You want to get into it now?
Yeah, actually, that's what we actually brought you on, Frankie, to discuss, the how generations feel different about coins.
Yeah, and how some don't have the same type of resources to have the digital. Coins. They don't have them. They don't have cell phones. So let's talk about Frankie. I'm just kidding. All right. Kings and Clippers tonight. Kings and T-Wolves tomorrow night. I know you don't want to look too far ahead because you have a game tonight, but Minnesota's going to be tough. Anthony Edwards has played really strong basketball, and we're talking about the Clippers in the thick of things in the West. The team right behind the Clippers is Minnesota. They're trying to make a push here, and they've been doing it without Cat.
Yeah, I think everyone's kind of looking for, in the larger scheme of things, looking at tonight's game as a huge game, which in its right it is. But I've been kind of looking at Minnesota. A team that the Kings, they split that 2-game set at Target Center earlier, I think a month ago. But they've historically, given the Kings some trouble. And Anthony Edwards is one of those guys that, at least one of the guys on the team that was once with Edwards, D'Angelo Russell, who is a Kings killer, is no longer on the team. But Mike Conley, Anthony Edwards, Gobert. You can't, again, they have guys. You can't really overlook them. Yeah. And second night of a back-to-back for both of them. They're both fighting for playoff positioning. Minnesota's a team that's for sure fighting for, they're at the top of those, 7-8 seed, trying to get out of the play-in. So the West is wild. Every night these teams are coming in playing for their lives. And as the games go on, the intensity is going to go up. And I think it's going to be an intense one tomorrow too.
I was going to say
what are you going to say first?
I was going to talk about Anthony Edwards.
Fine. I was going to talk about Rudy Gobert.
Okay, let me start with Anthony Edwards.
Let's flip a coin to decide.
We could.
You have to go with heads. You have to go with heads.
Really quick on Ant too. It's wild to think about not only what he's producing on the offensive
He's having
end,
a
but
Jeremy Lin run according to Shaq.
Hey, you stop that. Shaq does not know what he's talking about. But yeah, so stupid. But even what he's producing on the defensive end, just being a terror on that end, getting his hands in the passing lane, being active. He's young, he's athletic, almost 2 steals per game. And then that's someone you have to worry about, pushing it in transition the other way. And then when we do talk about the Kings defense, not only getting back in transition because of his activity on the defensive end, but also what he's producing on the offensive end. And then you go to Rudy Gobert, Deuce.
Yeah, I think the thing that irritated me when the Kings played the T-Wolves just a little while ago at the end of January, Gobert is not blocking shots at the rate he has done in past years. The Gobert trade has been a disaster for Minnesota based on what they gave up. I'm not saying he can't be a rim protector, but I felt like the Kings shied away from attacking him. It's like, go into his chest.
Yes.
And the one guy who did at one point was Sabonis, went into him and got that space to finish. But I felt like the Kings did not attack the hoop at all. They didn't even try to make anything happen. You knew that if the Kings were driving, they were immediately kicking. And Gobert's smart enough to pick that up. You have to attack him. Get physical. Get into the guy to create something.
And that might be because of the Kings, their reliance on the 3-ball. And for a while, if I'm not mistaken, during that stretch, they were kind of struggling from deep. Kevin Huerter had a rough month, and he's just starting to come out of it. I think Kevin Huerter shot 29% in February. And over the last 5-6 games, he's just started to kind of pull himself out of it, 37%. They've kind of been relying on the 3-ball, and that kind of taken away from the ability to attack the paint. And De'Aaron Fox is maybe one of the only guys on the roster that consistently attacks the paint. And of course, Sabonis gets his looks here and there, but we know that how he likes to orchestrate the offense out of the block. Maybe that'd be in their best interest then to go at Gobert and get him in foul trouble because they don't have Cat. Cat's not there to bail them out right now. And that makes them a little more thin in that regard. But Gobert is, again, like you said, not the Rudy Gobert that we've come to know over the past 4 or 5 years. Not the same guy. And that might be because of the Minnesota system, might be because of, I don't know, a lot of different things. I think that's why the Mike Conley deal, maybe they thought that would kind of help even things out and some familiarity, the Utah Jazz aspect of things. But something's got to change. And guys like Harrison Barnes, I want to keep an eye on him, who's so good when he goes to the paint, when he's aggressive. Keegan Murray, someone who's starting to show more aggression going to the basket. Go attack him. Worst case scenario, you're going to get blocked or you're going to draw a foul. So
none of that floating crap, right? It's not on Rudy Gobert. It's just not. That's where he's going to get his blocks, or that's where he's going to alter a shot because you have to have such a high arcing floater.
Also, don't be pump faking Rudy Gobert. He's not going to bite.
He ain't going to jump.
His wingspan is 10-7.
Yeah.
So what is he at in blocks per game this year? It's got to be years.
1.3.
Yeah, you're talking about a guy who was well above 2 for almost a decade. So this is, something's different with him. The rebounds are down by 3. Yeah. It's not the same guy.
Well, coming up next, we'll look more at the Kings homestand coming up. It's a 4-game homestand. Some interesting games on it. The Kings roundtable rolls on. Coming up next on Sactown Sports.
Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank.
Nice.
Go hour.
Golf to go.
I like your shirt, Frankie.
Thank you. I learned my lesson because Chris and I got to All-Star, and in Summer League there was a lot of cool
Sorry,
merch.
1 second.
You're good. Oh. Who let the pee out? Who let the pee out? Who?
Carry on.
Shut up, Frankie. We got to sing about
Sorry,
pee really quick.
Sing about pee urination.
So Summer League, let me guess. Didn't I see you at Summer League?
Yeah, we were there. We missed all the cool merch. There was a bunch of cool, like kind of retro looking merch.
Yes.
We missed out on it.
I remember, I think we either told you, we're like, oh, you got to get it, make sure to get it. And you're like, yeah, I'll get it at the end. And then you missed it.
Stupid. Dumb. Missed all the cool stuff.
Don't talk about yourself like that.
Stupid, man.
No.
See, now Frankie is talking like the rest of us now.
Yeah.
I know. Okay, you know what, Chris? I know.
He's like, I hate because I said that coins shouldn't be a thing.
Chris, if you have it, could we get some Namaste music? And I'm going to do a little empowerment Mo's Minute with Frankie.
Okay.
Frankie, just follow my lead.
I will.
Once these commercials end.
Ugh, so annoying. Why? How long is the commercial?
They gotta get their coins. They have to get their quarters.
Welcome to another Mo's Minute. Today is going to be about self-love. Frankie is starting to hate himself. A lot of people throwing crap at him. We gotta lift him up. Frankie, on 3. Nope, not on 3. You're gonna repeat after me.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
I love myself.
I love myself.
I am worthy.
I am worthy, not in coins.
I don't need coins.
I don't need coins.
I have a credit card.
I have a credit card.
I am the best.
I am the best.
Thank you, Morgan. You are better than Deuce.
Thank you, Morgan. You are much better than Deuce.
Oh, love it.
Okay, Frankie.
And Frankie, on 3, we're going to take a deep breath through our nose and out our mouths. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Do you feel better?
I do. I'm very appreciative. And I know more than ever, I don't need coins to be happy.
Oh, and he doesn't need coins.
Just got my email, gang.
Oh.
Somebody's going to Revolution.
Hey!
Well, I have a message for Frankie.
Oh.
And for Chris.
No.
Go.
It's too close.
It's too close to
say it?
Did you actually say it behind the beep?
Yes, I could hear it.
That's why he got beeped, because he said it.
Yeah, but sometimes you mime it.
Sometimes you gotta gamble, you know?
You live on the edge.
You really gonna chew that mint right into the mic?
What kind of mint?
5 seconds.
Lifesaver.
Live and local.
It's Deuce and Mo.
Watch the show now on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140 or listen for free on the Sactown Sports app.
Man, what a weekend that lies ahead. Kings Clippers tonight.
Hell yeah.
Kings T-Wolves tomorrow night. Bryan Danielson against MJF for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship in San Francisco on Sunday. Who do you have, Frank?
Oh, I have. It's so funny. My mics might cut out in a second.
MJF or Bryan Danielson?
I'm gonna
in an Iron Man match.
Chris is gonna kill me. Simone is in there. Can she help?
I'm asking you. I know you don't see. He's doing the thing where he's pretending not to be a fan.
Yeah. We know you're a huge fan.
Are you going with the American Dragon or the champ?
I'm phoning your friend. Simone's about to.
Yeah. Hi, I'm here.
Okay.
Hello.
Do you know the answer to this question?
I missed the question. What was it?
Please ask it, Deuce.
Who is winning the Iron Man match on Sunday? Is it MJF or the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson?
Give me MJF.
Ooh.
See, you know what's great? Simone doesn't even know who MJF is. And guess what? She said it with her chest. You would not.
Hey, Frankie needs more love and empowerment, you guys. This is why he's stuttering.
A friend. I'm not as smart in these situations. I don't know.
You're incredibly smart. Take that back.
You know what?
No, he's not. He needs to be better.
Frankie,
I
I'll
need
give,
to watch
you, I'll give you a
wrestling.
heads up.
Okay.
When someone asks you who's going to win in a wrestling match that you know nothing about, you got a 50-50 chance.
Yeah, I just don't feel like I feel like whatever answer I give, I would get dunked on anyway.
Oh.
And Simone, you can't dunk on her because she's so nice. So I figured maybe that would help out.
Oh, yeah, that would phase me. I'll dunk on anybody.
Yeah. I definitely made a choice. I'll tell you guys off air why.
And you didn't get dragged for it.
That's
so
right.
I would get dragged.
MJF.
I bet you I know why.
Why?
She probably saw his thirst trap photo today.
Because he's juiced out of his mind?
Are you jealous?
No, but if you want to compare bodies,
Yeah, show yours off right now. Why don't you show your little white Casper body off right now?
yeah,
You're the beacon, right?
yeah, Salt Lake City would love that right now.
Exactly. I was going to be like, I don't know if that aligns with Bonneville values, you guys.
Yeah.
I'll bring it back home.
Yeah, I don't think so. See, Eric in the chat saying give Frankie a break. He's like, come on, yeah.
All right, we'll give you a
Dude.
break. It
See,
is the
one thing
King's.
about coins.
It's the King's round
You wondered
table.
if they still existed.
I didn't. Okay, that was maybe not the best thing to say. I was half joking, not really joking. I have not seen a coin in a while, physically. I don't know.
No one's
See,
giving you
here's also the
change
thing with-
back.
with
That's so
Frankie.
weird.
I don't use. I never carry cash in my wallet. That's also a thing. I never carry
Yeah,
cash.
I'm with you.
Wallet, then your money's gone.
So's your cards. What are you talking
Yeah,
about?
but you can't. I can go on my bank app and just turn my cards off.
Fair
Yeah.
enough.
I don't. If I could walk around with no ID and no cards, I would do it.
Same.
Absolutely.
You might.
But
Four
here's the
game
thing
ho-
I've noticed with Frankie though, is
Yeah.
we'll say something about Frankie and then he'll defend himself. I think all of us are smart enough to just let him go, and he just continues to dig deeper.
Oh, yeah.
deeper
What I
and
just said
deeper.
made sense, though. What I just said makes sense.
Well, Frankie, try to make sense of this Kings 4-game homestand coming up. You got the Clippers tonight, Minnesota, then the Pelicans on Monday, and then the Knicks on Thursday. It's going to be a tough stretch. And then after that, not to go too far, they got to go at Phoenix and then home for Milwaukee. Ooh. I'm eager to see
You're
what
the
this
deer?
team does.
I think. I mean, are you asking me for a number?
Well, if you have one.
Oh.
I think just keeping pace right now is important. I mean, I think hope for 3, 2 is nice. I think just keeping pace where you're at right now in the West is so important. Don't lose ground. I think playing 500 basketball from here on out. I mean, I can't remember who made the chart. The Kings finished the season. I think they have 11 games left, 12 games left, 10 and 12 or 10 and 11. They have a good chance of staying where they are. So I like the chance of staying. 500.
Okay, let me ask you this then.
What?
If, with this 4-game homestand, you say winning, just splitting would be you'll take it, keep pace 2-2. You have to pick 2 games to win. Which games are you picking? Out of the Clippers, Minnesota, New Orleans, and the Knicks.
Morgan, are you going first or am I going first?
You go first because I got my 2.
Okay. I want tonight. I mean, tonight is one I would like to have.
Okay.
And then the national TV game on Thursdays is important to me.
That's what I'm with too. I'm with that. The Knicks are playing well. I call them the Kings of the East, Sacramento Kings of the East. I want the Kings to win that game. National TV. You got the stupid New York market watching. They think they're so good. Oh, Julius Randle and Jalen Brunson.
If I had to pick my 2 scary ones, and I mean just because it's the NBA.
Oh,
it's
they're all
difficult.
scary.
Yeah, Minnesota and New York, they would lose, and I really don't want them to lose on TNT. I mean, it shouldn't matter because people know what the Kings are, but it's just that extra, coverage, and it's pushed out there to so many more people. I just want to shove it down people's throats how fun and good the Kings are.
Deuce, what do you got?
Yeah, if I were to choose 2 to win, it would be. I mean, it'd be pretty disappointing to lose to the Pelicans at this point, though. I think they can win 3 of 4. They could win all 4. I think the Minnesota one's going to be tough, but the Knicks one is going to be really tough. I would just love for the Kings to get that Knicks game because, like you guys mentioned, TNT, and it'd be the second time this year they're beating a New York team on TNT.
Yes.
Yeah. Thanks, New York. I think the Pelicans game is one to keep an eye on too, because as we remember, I think the worst game of the Kings season this year was against New Orleans on the road, and they were shorthanded. So we're seeing the same thing. I think no Nance, no Jose Alvarado. no Zion on Monday. It's a little reminiscent, and the Kings got beat by 30 points that night, I think. So
another stretch of 3 games in 4 nights, and that's not an easy thing to deal with, even if you're on the home floor. We were talking about this earlier, Frank. I'm curious to get your perspective on this with load management. ESPN did a piece on it talking about how load management there's not a lot of true science behind it. They're not sure if it actually works. And then Paul George was saying on JJ Redick's podcast that he felt like he was more prepared physically, mentally when they practiced more, when they went harder at practice, kind of building those calluses up to be prepared for that. The one thing the Kings do is they do practice a lot. Do you think that has helped them in some ways, just how hard they practice, and maybe that helps them from a stamina perspective late in games?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, the proof is in the standings. I mean, Mike Brown has been a guy that they love to practice, and I think there were some jokes going on about it during the All-Star break, how the Kings were already getting back into it on that Tuesday night after the guys returned from wherever they went for their different breaks. But the health aspect of things too, I mean, obviously you have to listen to your body and you have to listen to the training staff. And if you're hurt, you need to take some time off. But knock on wood, the Kings have been, I think I saw on Twitter, they've played 90%. All the stars have played 90% of the season so far. And that comes to me, repetition, just being around each other, playing with each other. That's why the Kings have also, in my mind, been so successful. The starting lineup has been playing together, I would imagine, at the top of the league. And as far as minutes played together, that lineup has been night in, night out, reliable, consistent, and that all starts on the practice floor. I mean, when no one's watching. So, coach of the month, Mike Brown. I mean, him and his staff have done a great job of getting these guys ready. Jordi Fernandez, Luke Laux, all those guys, and it's paying dividends.
Because you were at practice the other day when De'Aaron was talking about his wrist and everything, you feel pretty confident in what he was saying and that he's good to go and everything?
Oh, yeah. I mean, and with that, I mean, of course, his wrist, I mean, it was definitely something that bothered him, and he said it was something that he just kind of tweaked it, felt better after a day. But in my mind, when he was rolled out, I thought, okay, I think he kind of needed a day anyways. And it's kind of not, I might even call it load management. I think just when you see De'Aaron Fox, how in his NBA career, I mean, I think he's on pace to play a career high in games and minutes played. He's been playing large minutes. I mean, almost 40 minutes a night down the stretch of games, almost the entirety of fourth quarters. You need to make sure that he's available down the stretch because, I mean, he literally is Mr. Fourth Quarter. He's the Clutch Player of the Year award winner, I'm going to assume. And him being fresh is huge to this team. I mean, the Kings need him late in these games. So giving him a night off and the Kings proving they could win a game without him, of course, it was against Oklahoma City, but that was huge to me.
You mentioned Mike Brown winning Coach of the Month. Do you think he wins Coach of the Year?
I think where things stand right now, yeah. I mean, I think the Sacramento Kings were they're the laughing stock of the NBA. They're the butt of a joke. I mean, literally, SNL making fun of them, just at the bottom of every prediction for the standings this season, in the past couple of seasons. He's done what no one has been able to do for almost 20 years. He's put the Kings, making them relevant. If they finish top 4 in the West, I don't know how you don't give it to him. I mean, I know what Mazzulla's done in Boston. I mean, everything that's been going on there has been incredible, but that roster was good already. And the Kings had a roster that had so many question marks, and even the bench, I don't know how many other teams, I mean, have as many question marks as the Kings bench has had. And of course, you've had guys like Trey Lyles, who's played well, Malik Monk, Davion Mitchell's had his up and down roller coaster of a season, but everything that goes into it and the narrative of the Kings being a joke and all these things that people have been saying over the years, they're not that anymore. They're a top 3 seed in the West, and they're a team that's beating other teams that have been above them for the past, several decades. 9-9 out. They're beating these teams. So it's a guy who comes from a winning culture. Mike Brown, wherever he's been, they've won. And although it hasn't been the way that people envision, which is Mike Brown's being a defensive-minded coach when he came in, the Kings have maybe one of the best offenses in the history of the NBA for a single season. So that's just something that needs to be, in my opinion, recognized.
I'm with you on that. And like Mazzulla, I'm not trying to take away from what he's done.
Yeah.
And it wasn't easy taking over like he did with the Boston Celtics. But that roster's super talented.
Stacked.
They've been together. They've been on deep runs. They went to the championship last year. This Kings team had a whole bunch of new faces implementing that. And also, they were really bad offensively last year. They were I think they were 25th in offensive rating.
Wow.
So it's insane to see how it's all turned around. Well, Frankie, thanks so much for hanging out with us on the Kings Roundtable. You're the best. We'll see you at the game tonight.
Yeah, thank you guys. I'll bring my quarters with me.
Thank you, Frankie.
If you have any. Appreciate everyone hanging out with us today. Make sure on the way out you hit the thumbs up button. Make sure to stay tuned. We got Cattles and Rami coming up next to get you ready for Kings and Clippers. We love you guys, but we got to go.
See ya.